Can I Still Be Your Heroine Even Though I'm Your Teacher? Volume 3, by Rakuto Haba, translated by Hiraith at Hurith Translation. Audiobook by Masquerade at Masquerade Audiobooks. Prologue. At least I want words. I'm home. Unagi-kun, you're still awake, right? It was Friday night, and for the first time in a while, I had finished dinner alone. After doing the dishes and getting out of the bath, I lay on my bed, watching a movie that was playing on TV. I was in a state where I could fall asleep at any time, but I was soaking in the sense of freedom that comes with the weekend, idly passing the time with my smartphone in hand. When the movie was more than halfway through, the chime of my room rang. There was only one person who would come looking for me at this hour. Tenjo-san, welcome back. The drinking party ended earlier than expected, huh? I had been informed in advance that Sensei had a drinking party at work tonight, so there would be no dinner. As I opened the door, the cool outside air tickled my cheeks. It had been 2 seasons since Sensei turned out to be my neighbor, and we started our current relationship. The overly long summer had finally passed, and the brief autumn had arrived. The daytime heat had subsided, and the nights were getting colder. I left the party early. Can I get some water or something? Is it okay if you don't go back to your own room first? I wondered if she was drunk enough to head straight to my room instead of her own, after returning to the apartment. Still shouldering her bag over her work clothes, her face was slightly flushed, and her eyes looked sleepy. Her slightly tipsy demeanor was unexpectedly alluring. I thought you might be feeling lonely. She said such a thing, a bit tipsy. Relying on the courage given by alcohol, she was bolder than usual. Her lip service was quite direct. I'd really like some comfort then. I made my request without flinching. There's no point in taking the words of a drunk person seriously. I half listen, letting some of it go in one ear and out the other. What should I do? Fufu, I wonder what should I do for you? Tenjo-san peered into my face with a playful look. The distance was so close that her breath could touch me. Closer than usual, I found myself captivated by her glossy lips. If she's this close, couldn't we naturally kiss? She was about to step into the room after taking off her shoes at the entrance, but she stumbled over the floor threshold. Inevitably, she was going to fall right into my chest. In the narrow hallway, there was no way to dodge, so naturally I had no choice but to catch her. Ah, thank you. You're as careless as ever. Maybe it was on purpose. For that, it was quite a stumble. Aren't you worried about me? That's why I caught you properly. Are you hurt? Thanks to you, I'm fine. She seemed genuinely happy to be in my arms. Mixed with the faint smell of alcohol, her body heat had risen, making her sweet scent more stronger than usual. The warmth and touch coming from her made my heart race. Tenjo-san didn't resist. Rather, she relaxed and entrusted her body to me. Just being this close was enough to loosen the reins of my reason. Unagi-kun, your hair has grown. Isn't your bangs getting in the way? She reached out and touched my hair with her fingertips. For now, it's okay. Are you still going to stay like this? I didn't want to part, but I asked politely. It's just kind of comforting. Every time she spoke, her breath tickled me. Don't show such an opening outside. I wouldn't do that with anyone but you. I trust that. I maintain teacher mode at school, so let me do as I please at home. You know this is my room, right? No, but I thought you were waiting for me to come back because the light was on. I couldn't deny it. If I had gone to sleep without talking to Tenjo-san, I would have felt off. In fact, I barely remembered the content of the movie just now. I thought you might have mistaken your room because you were drunk. It doesn't change the fact that we're under one roof. We eat here in the morning and evening, so it's kind of like my room too. She narrowed her eyes teasingly. First, please wash your hands and gargle. In the meantime, I'll prepare some mujicha for you. Okay. Tenjo-san seemed happy despite being scolded. I supported her as we headed to the wash basin. She wasn't so drunk as to stagger, but without either of us initiating it, it naturally happened. I tried to act nonchalant as our bodies touched, but it was impossible not to be conscious of it. I, Nishiki Uenagi, am a perfectly normal adolescent boy. It's an age when interest in the opposite sex naturally grows stronger. Tenjo Ryu is a teacher at the private Kyo High School I attend. Moreover, she's my homeroom teacher, and she's also my neighbor, living in the same apartment building. This spring, we discovered by chance that we were neighbors, and our neighborly relationship began, leading us to vow eternal love to each other. It would be nice if we could openly call ourselves lovers, but since we are a teacher and a student, we must keep it a secret. Of course, we've established a rule called the neighbor agreement for the sake of our futures, and we're working hard to maintain our current relationship until I graduate. Clause 1, the fact that we are neighbors is a secret just between the two of us. Clause 2, in times of trouble, we help each other without hesitation. Clause 3, Uenagi Nishiki will prepare breakfast and dinner on weekdays. Ryu Tenjo will contribute more to the food expenses. Clause 4, the neighbor agreement can be terminated upon request by either party. Clause 5, additional rules can be decided upon as necessary through discussion. Clause 6, neither party shall have a romantic partner until graduation. A vague sense of distance that is more than neighbors but less than lovers. This ambiguity is both the thrill and the troublesome part of romance. Due to our respective positions, we make sure not to cross a certain line, but there are no clear boundaries otherwise. The fact that Tenjo-san lounges in my room as if it were her own is proof of that. Her being able to relax and feel at ease is a sign of trust. However, because of this, her unguarded behavior often tests my self-control and rationality. Like the casual hug we shared when she returned earlier, it's adorable. Each time, I maintain a poker face, coolly letting it pass as if nothing happened. Sometimes, pretending it's nothing is necessary to avoid ruining an important relationship. You're completely oblivious to others' feelings. I calm my emotions and return to the bed to continue watching the movie. Thanks for the tea. After finishing her mujicha, Tenjo-san took off her light coat and naturally lay down on my bed without asking. She wriggled around and used my thigh as a pillow. Tenjo-san. What is it, Yonagi-kun? Aren't you too close? Ah, really? It's the best view from here, and it's more comfortable than the floor. The soft bed is undoubtedly more relaxing, but I wish she'd think about it calmly. This is, after all, a man's room. Aren't you being too relaxed? Am I? She looks up at me with an innocent expression, as if nothing was wrong. Her gesture, despite being that of an older woman, has a pet-like charm that leaves me speechless. Yes, it's all the more annoying because I don't dislike it. Thanks to various events over the summer vacation, I was able to slightly lighten the emotional burden she had been carrying. As a result, she has become a little more clingy since the start of the second term. No, let's not mince words. She has become really clingy. I'm envious that you can relax so much like that with alcohol. Hee, you'll understand when you're an adult. So be patient. I am, if anything, I'm all about patience. Of course, this isn't just about alcohol. As a minor, drinking is out of the question. I'm a serious guy who doesn't do anything against public order and morals and always abides by the law. What I'm most patient with is the existence of Tenjo Ryu herself. Being with her is the most enjoyable thing, but it's also a source of worry. All that stress must be tough. You need to take breaks properly, or you'll break down. Tenjo-san cheerfully responds, Whose fault do you think it is? Mine. Uenagi-kun, do you find me bothersome? Oh, are your legs numb now? When she lifts her head out of consideration, I gently push it back down. It's troubling because I can't reject you. Wow, that sounds complicated. Her response, influenced by the alcohol, was casual and frank. Yes, things could get really messy if I let my guard down. I feel like I'm being threatened, scary. Or rather, I wish she wouldn't turn to face me every time we talk. Because she's using my knee as a pillow, her face is dangerously close to a man's area. In the worst-case scenario, it could lead to a situation where an active volcano erupts. If that ever happened, things couldn't continue as they have been. The person in question, due to her peculiar lack of knowledge in such matters, is purely enjoying the knee pillow, which makes it all the more problematic. But it would be a waste to say something careless and dampen the mood. Her being too close is stimulating, but I don't want distance between us either. So I dutifully stay awake, waiting for her to come home. These various internal conflicts, both big and small, constantly tormented me. How did such a beautiful woman like Tenjo Ryu manage to grow up so innocent? It's nothing short of a miracle in this world. While I give thanks to the gods, I also feel the urge to curse the severity of this trial. I desperately line up trivial thoughts in my head to keep a lid on the rising desires. Now, let's focus on the movie in front of me. Hey, Uenagi-kun, is this movie really that interesting? Seeing my serious expression, her face turns towards the TV. Ah, please don't give my inner thigh such strange sensations. The action is intense and stimulating. But why do you look like you're in pain? Don't worry about it. I answer while biting my lower lip. In this way, I am always on the edge of torment. If a provocative woman with no connection to me were to stir feelings, I could dismiss it as a coincidence. With acquaintances or friends, I can exercise self-control based on common sense. But when it comes to someone in a special relationship, it's a different story. Being allowed to be the closest to her, I want to feel and reciprocate that affection in various ways. Surprisingly, despite all this innocent physical contact, Tenjo-san and I are not officially in a relationship. No, we simply haven't clearly articulated to ourselves or others that we are lovers. We could say that we are essentially in a pure relationship. Yet, it's a secret bond that I could never reveal to anyone else. If someone were to notice, me and her would be torn apart. Fear of that tragedy has kept us from defining our relationship in words thus far. Wow, a kiss scene. Tenjo-san murmured. In the movie, just before the climax, a man and a woman press their lips together. They engage in an intense kiss, sucking and entwining tongues like snakes coiling together. How can they not feel suffocated by such a kiss? Hey, are you interested? Suddenly, she asks as our eyes meet. Her smooth, silky long hair, beautiful eyebrows, and large eyes framed like petals seem to draw me in. A well-defined nose, small lips, soft cheeks, cute ears, and a slender chin. I am irresistibly attracted to her godlike beauty. Despite seeing her so many times, I'm still captivated each time. But it's not allowed. While sending a suggestive glance, Tenjo-san gently presses her fingertip against my lips. I was caught off guard, unable to respond. Annoyed, I lightly bite her slender finger. Ah, what are you doing? She panics, pulls her arm back, and jumps off the bed. Hey, my fingertip is wet now. Gross. Tenjo-san hurriedly wipes it with a tissue from the bedside. It's because you started doing weird things. I was just teasing you. No sign of remorse. Tenjo-san, do you enjoy teasing me? Yeah, it's super fun. She beams with a smile as bright as the sun. That's not very educator-like behavior. It's just a little playful teasing between close friends. I'm completely being played with by an older woman. What if this twists my preferences? It wouldn't really be a problem. She dismisses it easily. Her lack of hesitation surprised me this time. Why? Because you're with me, so whatever happens, I'll take full responsibility and face it head-on. So you can relax. Tenjo Ryu's sense of responsibility explodes. Her overly gallant statement made my heart flutter. Oh, so this is how I'm being trained. I realized. In the casual exchanges of everyday life, there are moments when my heart is clearly seized, so my heart can never detach from her. Trained sounds like a naughty term. That's not wrong. The declaration that Tenjo-san will respond to any of my demands keeps my heart racing. I boldly admit what I'm expecting. That's not what I meant. It's not. Moderation is important in everything. Okay, then, with moderation, I hope to be able to openly express my honest desires. Please look forward to after graduation. What am I supposed to look forward to? I will take you to a dazzling new world. I counter with wordplay, as it's vexing to be constantly touched unwittingly. What will you make me do? Well, you'll accompany me until I run out of desire. Japanese is a convenient language. By using metaphors and leaving the direct object vague, I can make suggestive expressions without being explicit. Tenjo-san understands the implied meaning of my roundabout words and sits up. I'm going home for today. Good night. Seeing the tide turn against her, she hastily gathers her belongings and returns to the next room. Her movements are too agile for someone who's drunk. It almost makes me doubt whether her previous languidness on the bed was just an act. The movie had ended at some point, and it was now showing commercials. I barely remember the content. Once alone again, I stand in the middle of the room, agonizing. Ugh, she's too cute. I can't believe she's older than me. I grin uncontrollably, covering my mouth even though no one is watching. Loving her so much was infuriating. I flailed about as if to release the pent-up frustration. I'm completely smitten. Damn it, there's no winning against her. Nishiki Yonagi is in love with Tenjo Ryu. It's not just a bittersweet experience of a boy's adolescence yearning for an older woman. Because it's serious, I can't let my feelings run ahead. I wish I could grow up faster. I mutter softly while looking up at the ceiling light. The year and a bit until I graduate high school feels impossibly long. I like Sensei. I want to hold hands. I want to hug her. I want to kiss her. I want to do more than that. Such primitive and pure instincts whisper in my brain, trying to numb my reason. Without either instinct or reason, love would surely break. The ambiguous nature of my relationship with Tenjo-san makes me acutely aware of this. Not yet capable of an adult physical relationship, yet no longer satisfied with mere childlike play. At least I want words. Despite being so close to her, I have never once been told, "I like you" by Tenjo Ryu. Her attitude and gaze certainly convey her affection for me. That's why I was able to swear eternal love. Still, I find myself wanting to hear her say, "I like you" properly. I thought I was understanding, but I'm surprised to find myself feeling this maiden-like sentiment. It's embarrassingly awkward, so I can't bring myself to tell Tenjo-san. There's a subtle discomfort in asking for those words of affection from her. There's a reason I can't speak up, and it lies with Tenjo-san. As a teacher, she consciously avoids explicit expressions toward me, a minor. Contrary to the oozing affection and innocent closeness, the word, stubbornly refuses to leave her lips. It seems she's escaping into ambiguity. As long as our relationship cannot be publicly disclosed, I can understand her feelings and stance. But still, even if it's just my own selfish wish, I yearn to hear her say "like" in her own voice. Chapter 1, Too Much Affection Can Be a Problem. Hey, Nishiki-kun, are you dating Kyuhyun-san or something? During the weekday lunch break, I was approached by some girls from my class, whom I didn't usually talk to much. Where did you get that misinformation? I stopped eating and asked with a serious face. That's not it. I totally thought you two were lovers. The girls seemed quite disappointed with my answer. How could you misunderstand it that way? Because you're eating lunch together right now. Kyuhyun Akira, who was sitting next to me, continued eating her meal with an indifferent expression, as if our conversation didn't concern her. Her unwavering demeanor had a strange sense of intimidation. I started eating lunch with Akira in mid-May. She usually sit by the window, but due to the recent intense heat, she started joining me to escape the sunlight. I also owed her a bit of a favor over Golden Week concerning my younger sister, so I had no particular reason to refuse her. Before the midterm exams, we began to help each other with subjects we were bad at while eating, and this routine just stuck. It was still continuing even now in the second term. It seems there's been a huge misunderstanding. Kyuhyun-san, your response, please. I decided to throw the topic to Akira. I'm just sticking to my routine. I can't settle down if I break my habits. Her answer was brief. That kind of concern for routine is something you'd expect from a former athlete. The strength of character to not be swayed by others' opinions must be the secret to winning competitions. Objectively speaking, the girl named Kyuhyun Akira had a dazzling presence that stood out among her peers. Her flashy hair color with inner highlights suited her strong-looking features, and she had a good figure. Her body, well-toned from her time in the track and field club, is attractive. She was regarded with respect by both boys and girls in the class as a solitary figure. But you two have been commuting to school together since the first term. There's no other boy who has that kind of close relationship with Kyuhyun-san. Even when various boys confess to her, she turns them down because she has a boyfriend named Nishiki-kun. We're just classmates. I cut her off with a denial. I had been making morning calls to wake up Akira, who is not a morning person, and then I'd wait at the station to make sure she actually went to school. It was nothing more than us commuting together. Isn't that because you're close? The girls persisted. There are opposite-sex friends who are easy to talk to, aside from romantic feelings. I only want to talk to boys I'm interested in. The girl casually uttered something cold and ruthless, without batting an eye. This world is hell. High school girls are such merciless and cruel creatures. Boys who don't interest them might as well be invisible. The thought that they only see the world through such biased lenses makes my heart shrink. It's truly sinful how easily they can plant aversions in the delicate hearts of adolescents. Don't say whatever you please. It's seriously annoying. With just a glare from Akira, the girls scattered away from my seat like baby spiders. No mercy even towards her own gender. Thanks for the intimidation, but you'll be disliked if you act like that too much. I'll take them on. Akira, you're strong. I just hate being talked about based on speculation. Well, yeah, that's true. Being casually gossiped about by people you don't know well isn't a pleasant feeling. And to be confronted like that, to verify the truth of such off-base rumors. You shouldn't even bother dealing with that kind of thing. Akira muttered coolly. You can't just ignore your classmates. Nishiki, you're too nice. We're past the peak of the heat, so you could just eat at your own seat by the window like before to avoid such misunderstandings. It's weird how they connect everything to romance. Their heads are in the clouds. Don't ever say that in front of them. I wish she'd learn to sugarcoat things a bit. Speaking your mind about everything can unnecessarily increase your enemies. Nishiki can only live a constrained life, huh? I'm just being sensible. You're a boring man who settles for less. Is it fun to trample on a man's heart? It's the truth. Unlike you, I'm considerate of those around me. You lack consideration the most when it comes to me. Who are you to talk? Akira seems to enjoy angering me, and her choice of words is too careless. Nikki and Akiaki are having another marital spat. You two get along so well. Mayuzumi Ririka appeared out of nowhere to mediate our argument with a voice loud enough to echo throughout the class. The girl with black twin tails dyed purple on the inside. She's meticulous about her fashion, from accessories to piercings and nails, and despite her petite stature, she stands out with her natural energy and has a wide circle of friends with various interests throughout the school. Her exceptional communication skills even allow her to talk with the difficult Akira with ease. Who are you calling married couple? Did I interrupt your lovey-dovey moment? Then sorry. Where do you see that? Akira roared. Yeah, she's totally being played. Hey, aren't those two always together? Maybe they're dating, that's the impression people naturally get. Mayuzumi-san spoke, as if representing a third-person perspective. It's none of your business. Akiaki is a beautiful lone wolf, but stands out even more because she's only ever with Nikki. There's no smoke without fire, right? Is everyone in this class just idle? Everyone is basically really interested in romance. I'm not interested. Akira's assertion was emphatic. Really, it's not just you playing coy. Who am I playing coy for? Akira responded with a cool attitude, not taking the bait seriously. Mayuzumi-san smirked, narrowing her eyes, and for some reason kept looking my way. Akiaki, what do you think about Nikki? More than a wall, less than air. I couldn't help but laugh at Akira's typically sharp response. So my presence is like it's there, but not really. Walls are in your field of vision, but usually not something you're conscious of, and air is invisible to the eye. It's like being treated as an invisible person. Perhaps to those uninterested, a man really is an invisible existence. I wonder if I look like I'm muttering to myself. It would be shocking if people thought I was some weird girl. Irritated by Akira's insincere play acting, I said, You jerk, too bad. I'm not a jerk, I'm a girl. Akira gleefully seized the opportunity to play on words. Akiaki, being able to have such casual interactions with someone of the opposite sex is super rare. For some reason, Mayuzumi-san looked at me with eyes full of compassion. Nishiki is just right for killing time. But you'd die without air, wouldn't you? Picking up on Akira's earlier remark, Mayuzumi-san returned with a meaningful retort. That's true for any human being. Akira seemed dissatisfied at being outmaneuvered. It seems no one can beat Mayuzumi Ririka at wordplay. Well then, I'll read the air and make my exit. You two can have all the girl talk you want. Since we had finished eating, I started to clear the table. Don't run away alone. Akira grabbed my uniform. Don't you get it? That's me being considerate. That's why you can easily call other people walls or air. Don't make me deal with a love-struck Ririka all by myself. I thought love stories were the exclusive domain of girls. I'm not good with this kind of topic. Surprisingly, there was an innocent side to her. It wouldn't make much difference if I were here. You'd at least serve as a breakwater wall. So I'm still being treated like a wall. Be happy that I'm relying on you. Happy? Let go, you're stretching my uniform. As Akira and I argued back and forth, an impatient Mayuzumi-san exclaimed, Geez, what's with you two flaunting it? Your youth is too sweet and sour. Why is Ririka the one getting upset? Because it's frustrating to watch. You don't have to look. As if Ririka could ignore Akiaki. She stomped her feet with such force it seemed her twin tails might stand on end. With her intense movements, the twin tails bounced energetically. If I find the person spreading rumors that we're dating, I'll deal with them. Akira's eyes were serious. Actually, it's Ririka who's been spreading them. The real culprit boldly confessed right in front of me. I was taken aback by her brazen nerve. Ririka. Kaya scary, Nikki save me. Mayuzumi-san circled behind me to use as a shield. These two could argue in a way that made onlookers tense, yet they were close enough to hang out on holidays. Their relationship must be one without reservations. The friendship between girls is something boys find hard to understand. Akiaki, the cultural festival is coming up soon. Events like that can make people bold, and if you're not careful, Nikki might get super excited with someone else. Akira and I exchanged a look of disbelief. No, don't underestimate it. The magic of the cultural festival can work miracles. You're just getting carried away and losing your mind. Akira's comeback was too straightforward. But it's been a year since you quit the club. Maybe it's time to find something new to get passionate about. How about casually finding a boyfriend? The sharpness of Akira's vibe seemed to increase exponentially. Isn't the timing and pace of love different for everyone? I offered a lifeline, unable to watch any longer. That's right, Nishikyu, you do say some good things sometimes. From Ririka's point of view, Nikki seems like the passionate type when it comes to someone he falls for. It felt like she saw right through me. Reflecting on my actions, since discovering that Tenjo Ryu was my neighbor, I felt I had been unusually proactive. Most of a man's passion is just sexual desire. Akira said something brutally frank. Listen, unless you're used to playing around, courting someone of the opposite sex requires a lot of instinctual power. I found myself defensively, explaining the delicate emotions of men. That's not true. Akiaki, saying that kind of thing ruins the romance. Turning the magic of love into something gross is just you. I don't care. It's a nuisance caused by selfish reasons. If that were the case, most romances wouldn't even start. The argument over love continued above my head. I wished they would take it elsewhere. Love is nothing more than a tiresome thing that makes you fluctuate between happy or sad all the time because of someone else's existence. As if to end the conversation, Akira stood up from her seat. Facing her back, Mayuzumi-san threw further provocation. Akiaki, are you scared? Huh? Kyuhu and Akira, who turned around, had a seriously scary look in her eyes. But even under her sharp knife-like gaze, Mayuzumi Ririka had a smile full of composure. I seriously don't get the relationship between these two. Akiaki, since you're popular, don't be so picky. Or is this a cry for help while pretending to complain? Or just plain bragging? Mayuzumi-san's way of stirring things up is on another level. She chooses her words precisely to provoke Akira. That's not the case at all. Then let me seriously offer you a solution. Okay, let's hear it. Quickly get a boyfriend. If Akiaki just casually accepts someone's confession, it'll quiet down like the tide going out. The topic loops back around. How much does Mayuzumi-san want Akira to get a boyfriend? It seems like it could be effective, but it's a forceful suggestion. No way. Why should I date someone I don't even like? Akira turns her body away, as if the idea is out of the question. Wow, Akiaki, so pure-hearted. I'm just having a normal thought process. You might come to like someone after dating them. Why not start with a trial? Even subscriptions have a 1-month free trial, right? If you like it, just continue. Simple. Rejected, the minimum requirement for a lover is that it's someone I like. That's all. Akira refuses to take the conversation seriously. With such differing standards for choosing a lover, there's no way she could accept it. There are as many ways and thoughts about love as there are people. When, where, and how someone falls in love varies greatly depending on the person's timing and reasons. Perhaps trying to force oneself into the general societal mold leads to getting hurt or sick from love. As a man yearning for his own teacher, I've been reaching such a state of mind lately. You just haven't liked anyone who's confessed so far, right? With an immediate response, Akira's look becomes even more severe. Don't speak as if you know everything. It's a wonder how Mayuzumi-san manages to navigate such a minefield of conversation without shortening her lifespan. I've always supported you. Ririka knows Akiaki very well. Mayuzumi-san smiles brightly, unfazed by Akira's glare. A heavy silence hangs in the air. The atmosphere is no longer suitable for eating. I want to get away from here immediately, but unfortunately, this is my seat. And then, like a gong signaling the end of a match, the chime rings. Lunch break is over. Now, both of you, please go back to your seats. Otherwise, I'm going to suffocate from the tension. Someone help me. All right, everyone, take your seats. Let's begin today's fun history class. Then, Tenjo-sensei, who teaches the 5th period history class, appears in the classroom. My savior can only be this person. The tension between Kyuhun Akira and Mayuzumi Ririka had already spread throughout the classroom, and the other classmates had been holding their breath and watching without me noticing. Tenjo-sensei senses something is wrong and is shocked to find the source is the two in front of the teacher's desk. Sensei's gaze asks me what's going on as if I'm in the middle. Instead of answering, I look at her with eyes pleading for rescue. Come on, we're starting the class, so both of you take your seats. Tenjo-sensei stands at the podium and instructs them in a more formal tone, similar to before. It's just one of the solutions. Remember that, okay? Mayuzumi-san returns to her seat first. Kyuhun-san. Prompted by Tenjo-sensei, Akira reluctantly returns to her window-side seat. Hey, aren't Kyuhun-san and Mayuzumi-san good friends? Tenjo-sensei asked me, trying to get the details. I also don't know what's what. It mostly stems from their differing views on romance, which then escalates into such hostility. I explain briefly, and Tenjo-sensei seems to understand, saying, well, it's girls after all. Does Tenjo-sensei ever fight over differences in romantic views? I often get irritated by advice. Really? I've never seen her talking with a friend of the same sex, so I can't quite grasp it. It's because she's a close friend that I understand it's all out of concern. Now, let's start the class. Tenjo-sensei looks around the classroom. Section. As a result of the vote, it's been decided that this year's cultural festival for Class 2C will feature an animal-made cafe. Finally, let's have a word from Ririka as the leader. After the 5th period history class, we discuss the cultural festival's program during the long homeroom of the 6th period. First, whether or not the class should do a program was overwhelmingly approved. Next, the leader was unanimously decided to be Mayuzumi-san, who volunteered. After discussing various ideas, it was decided to go with an original concept of an animal-made cafe, adding the element of girls wearing animal ear headbands, as a simple-made cafe seemed boring. Looking online, it seems there are quite a variety of headbands for sale. It's interesting what people come up with. Next year we'll be taking exams, so this might be our last chance to enjoy without restraint. It's a festival, so the one who has the most fun wins. Let's work together to make the best memories of our high school days and have the best cultural festival ever. The class united behind Mayuzumi-san's policy speech. As they applauded, I couldn't help but admire her impressive ability to win over people's hearts. Everyone seemed to be naturally carried away by Mayuzumi-san. Well then, that's all for today. Dismissed. With the administrative announcements over, today's lessons came to an end. A sense of relief filled the classroom with murmurs. Amidst this, Tenjo-sensei's gaze briefly met mine as she looked in the direction of where I was seated. Our eyes locked. No words were exchanged, yet that alone made me happy. Before I could savor that small joy, other students began to crowd around Tenjo-sensei. Despite showing a hint of regret, she quickly reverted to her teacher's demeanor without anyone else noticing. It can't be helped. That's just how it is with a popular teacher. I'm already used to it. Sensei will buy the class hoodie too, right? It'll be exciting to match with Tenjo-sensei. And while we're at it, Sensei should try on a maid outfit. It would definitely suit you. That's right. We'll present the costume to Sensei with contributions from everyone, so please tell us your size. The girls gathered around were making some wonderful suggestions, so I couldn't help but eavesdrop. Tenjo-sensei in a maid outfit. I definitely want to see that if I could. Goshujin-sama, master. Just imagining an older woman taking care of me as a maid sends my excitement through the roof. This isn't good. Lately, my fantasies have been getting increasingly elaborate. Maybe it's the effect of holding back every day. Hey, Nishiki-kun, you think so too, right? Suddenly brought into the conversation, I blurted, I want to see it. Without hesitation. My immediate response took everyone, including Sensei and the girls, by surprise, and they burst into laughter. Nishiki-kun likes cosplay. That's kind of unexpected. I spoke my desires without thinking. It's embarrassing. Kyuhyun-san, can I talk to you for a moment? A male student from the next class entered our classroom and headed straight for Akira. Even as all eyes turned to him, he maintained a refreshing smile. His confident demeanor was evident, and he stood in front of Akira's desk without hesitation. I'm about to leave. Akira made an overtly annoyed face. It's a quick matter, and I don't mind changing locations. The male student seemed to have anticipated Akira's unfriendly reaction and wasn't fazed by it. Everyone left in the classroom sensed the air of a confession, stayed put, and listened intently. Caught in the unnatural silence, their conversation stood out all the more. I also froze, realizing that moving would only draw attention. If you have something to say it here. Otherwise, I'm leaving. Before he could get an answer, Akira stood up, slinging her bag over her shoulder. Usually, confessing in front of others is tough, so it seemed like a roundabout way of rejecting the advance. Akira was determined not to be swayed, ready to leave the scene as quickly as possible with an undeniable force. At that point, the success rate of a confession would typically plummet. Most boys would back down in the face of Akira's presence. All right, I'll say it here. But the male student didn't back down. He appeared well-dressed and accustomed to dealing with women, belonging to a noticeable group, with his classmates watching his confession from the hallway. Kyuhyun-san, I like you. I want you to go out with me. The male student expressed his feelings without hesitation. I inadvertently stole a glance at Tenjo-sensei's profile. She showed a genuine surprise at the bold confession in the classroom. Excited squeals from the girls could be heard in the corners of the room. How nice. Watching the scene of the confession, I muttered quietly. I envied the ability to openly express one's feelings in front of others. If a classmate was the object of affection, confessing love in the middle of the classroom would feel natural. Falling for someone your age is common. In the same space of a classroom, it's natural for love to blossom between boys and girls during such a sensitive period, especially when one can express their affection so straightforwardly. Which, despite being embarrassing, must be a proud moment for them. I was witnessing a page of someone else's youth. I should leave the classroom now. Whoa there, Nikki, where do you think you're going? Mayuzumi-san blocked my path. As the leading extroverted girl in the class, her eyes sparkled with excitement. Isn't it wrong to watch? It's just that Akiaki's intimidation didn't work this time. Besides, it would be a waste to miss out on such a big event of youth. Pushed by her, I found myself back in the classroom. Isn't it awful to have your confession witnessed by everyone? Ririka doesn't mind. If it's successful, I'd want to be celebrated by everyone. I can imagine Mayuzumi-san being open about love, but Akira dislikes the attention. You know her well, Nishiki. That's why Akiaki needs your support. I'll leave that to you, Mayuzumi-san. I just made her angry during lunch, so I want Nikki's help too. You're aware that you're the one who upset her. It's fun to tease Akiaki. Anyway, let's just watch over for now. I find myself forcibly crossed arms as if I have no say in the matter. Do we really need to be this close? To make sure Nikki doesn't escape. All right. I'll stay with you, so let go. Otherwise, I might be misunderstood. Look, Tenjo-sensei is watching us closely. I try my best to prove my innocence with my expression. Tenjo-sensei turned away with a stern look. Nikki. What's wrong? Talking to Mayuzumi-san always seems to lead to her peering into my face. It's nothing. Do you hate the idea of Akiaki getting a lover? If Akira is okay with it, then it's fine by me. Anyone who meddles in someone else's love life should get kicked by a horse. Don't worry, Akiaki will definitely turn him down. How can you be so sure? Do you really think that confession will succeed? Despite maintaining a friendly smile, Mayuzumi-san's eyes held a cold light. Indeed, Akira rejected the confession without hesitation, but the boy persisted. He kept clinging on, piling up one flimsy excuse after another, desperately trying to advance his relationship with Kyuhyun and Akira. He pulled out his smartphone, trying to exchange contact details, shamelessly continuing to express his feelings under everyone's watchful eyes. In a way, his tenacity was impressive. Aggressiveness is essential for love to succeed. That much is praiseworthy. He must have had some past successes due to persistence. However, sticking to his winning pattern when it's clearly not working is a mistake. As long as the other party is uncomfortable, no matter how genuine the feelings, it's nothing but a nuisance. As expected, Akira finally lost her temper at his excessive persistence. Hey, do you really think someone can suddenly fall in love with a person they've barely spoken to? How narcissistic can you be? Maybe you should work on your attitude rather than your looks. Your lack of perception is seriously unbearable. If I didn't dislike you, I might consider exchanging contact information, but you should realize there's zero chance when you're being rejected. Also, that cologne you're wearing, it's so strong it's unpleasant, so get away from me. A barrage of complaints spewed out like machine gun fire. The boy, his heart riddled with merciless verbal bullets, gave up and retreated to his friends in the hallway with tears in his eyes. Akira glared at the classmates who had turned into spectators, and they all quickly looked away. See, Mayuzumi-san looked at me with an "I told you so" expression. Yeah, but still, even if the other person was too persistent, wasn't that a bit too harsh? The fact that his cologne is too strong and smells uncomfortable is true. Besides, everyone had been feeling dissatisfied with it for a while, so the other girls are probably relieved. They're thinking, thank goodness Akiaki said it. Girls have a keener sense of smell than boys, you know. Mayuzumi-san applauded Akira's remarks. I see, so it's not just any pollution but scent pollution. I guess too much of anything is bad. Nikki, girls are creatures who are super sensitive to the atmosphere, so they often hold back what they really want to say. As we were talking near the entrance, Akira approached us with a displeased look. How long are you going to keep your arms crossed? Akira wedged herself between me and Mayuzumi-san, forcibly separating us. Akiaki, that last jab was nice. Thanks for your hard work. I offered a word of appreciation as well. Come with me for a bit. Despite being visibly drained from having to reject the confession, Akira's tone was intimidating, as if she were our boss. All right, gladly. Nikki, let's go. Wait, me too. Do you think you can defy Akiaki? If you're going to refuse, handle it yourself. Of course, I have no confidence in persuading an angry Kyuhu and Akira. Aren't you and Akira being too forceful? Ririka just held you back a little bit. Luckily, tonight's dinner won't take long to prepare. I had set the rice cooker with the ingredients for Takikomi Gohan before leaving the house. There's no need for shopping, so there's no rush to get home. Spending after-school time with classmates can be enjoyable once in a while. Suddenly feeling a gaze on my back, I turned around. Sensei seemed surprised that I looked back, her large eyes widening even more. Even if I'm used to making eye contact, Sensei is still vulnerable to these unexpected moments. We must both stay alert and not show any weaknesses at school. Nishiki, hurry up. Nikki, you can't escape even if you try. Urged by Akira and Mayuzumi-san, I left the classroom with a feeling of being reluctantly pulled along. The three of us moved to the lounge area inside the school. We bought drinks from the vending machine and sat down at an empty table. Akira immediately opened a can of milk tea and gulped it down. Even if it's cold, is milk tea really something you drink all in one go? Akiaki actually loves sweets. It's a rebound from holding back on her favorite things during her track and field days, so now she can't stop. For Mayuzumi-san, this seemed to be a familiar sight. It's true that she's always sucking on Chupa Chups. Hopefully, she doesn't get cavities. Learning this interesting detail, I naturally found myself looking at Akira. What are you worried about? Are you my parent? Since you're always sucking on something, I thought maybe you were dealing with some frustration. Why would you think that? Akira, you tends to be short-tempered, so I thought maybe you're sucking on something to distract yourself from irritation. Why would I? Akira looked at me with eyes full of unwillingness. Say, I gestured to stop Akira as she leaned forward from the opposite side of the table. Mayuzumi-san, who had been drinking a grape-flavored carbonated drink, chose the perfect timing to chime in. Hey Akiaki, how many confessions have you had since October started? I haven't been counting. Wow, so many that you can't keep track. You must be really popular. When I joked, Akira shot me a sharp glance. I never asked for any confessions. Akira snapped back with a serious face. Why not just embrace the fact that you're really popular? How would you feel if you had to deal with pests, hangovers, canker sores, or the interest on debts forever? I'd hate them all to death. Exactly. Just imagining it was hellish enough. Being forced upon with something I don't want is just annoying. Akira bluntly cut through. Well, I guess that's true. Unwanted affection is one of the most difficult things to handle. I understood that well. So Akiaki, you want to stop this rush of confessions? Of course. Her reply was immediate. Akira must really have no interest in romance. What does Nikki think would make the confessions stop? Mayuzumi-san asked me. I've never even imagined such a luxurious problem. Useless. Akira, you should be a little more careful with how you treat your friends, or you'll end up alone. I'm always fine being alone, so it's not a problem. That's right, she's always been this kind of girl. Akiaki has always been unwavering, which is cool in a girl's eyes. Mayuzumi-san looked at Akira with admiration. Honestly, it's a hassle to keep rejecting them, so I'd like a fundamental solution. Akira's requests were always straightforward. It was clear that this was a serious issue for her. Maybe you could change your behavior or appearance to something that would totally turn guys off. I suggested off the top of my head. Why do I have to change myself in a negative way when I'm the one in trouble? I might as well die. Her response was harsh. By the way, why did Akira start getting popular this semester? There weren't this many confessions in the first semester. Do you have any idea why? Kyuhyun Akira is an attractive girl. That's indisputable to anyone. There have always been boys interested in her, but what changed this semester? Nothing in particular. She was unaware. No solution then, I give up. I said, throwing my hands up in surrender. Try a little harder. Why should I bother? Then, from Nikki's perspective, what do you think? Me? Whom honestly, nothing comes to mind. Maybe her hair got longer. Blind as a bat. Hey, watch it, take the thorns out of your words. They're like a saw, it hurts. I'm already being more considerate than necessary. In what way? You're just too dull to notice, Nishiki. As Mayuzumi-san watched our verbal sparring with rapt attention, she commented with a smile. You two really get along well, don't you? Where do you see that? Look, you're perfectly in sync. We both felt awkward as our lines matched and looked away from each other. Akiaki, you know, you've become softer in your expressions and atmosphere since you've been around Nikki. That's why the confessions have increased. Mayuzumi-san declared confidently. Akira, have you been using me as a punching bag to feel better? Hey, if that's the case, I'd like to relieve more stress. I joked and Akira played along. Instead of worrying about it, why not consult someone with experience? Mayuzumi-san's eyes sparkled. An experienced person who's been confessed to by as many people as Akira. Is there such a person? I tilted my head. You're missing the obvious. We have the perfect person for advice right here in our school. Who? Akira asked with anticipation. Ryu-chan Sensei. Mayuzumi-san came up with a chilling suggestion. Tenjo Sensei. I try to suppress my agitation so it doesn't show on my face. It's obvious because Ryu-chan Sensei is super beautiful. She must have been incredibly popular since her student days, so she probably has similar experiences. I can't deny it because it actually feels true. No, you definitely shouldn't do it. Seriously, it's a no-go. Knowing that Tenjo Sensei has never had a lover, I can't imagine Mayuzumi-san getting the kind of response she's hoping for. If anything, Mayuzumi-san's assertiveness might cause Tenjo Sensei to slip up and reveal something. Why not, Nikki? No, I was just wondering if it's really okay to talk to Sensei about this. Putting aside my own issues, I express a hesitant stance while carefully choosing my words. Rather, it's Sensei's job to listen to students' concerns. Ryu-chan Sensei would listen with empathy. She saw the confession earlier in the classroom, so it'll be quicker to talk to her. Of course, that person would face the students sincerely and honestly as a teacher. Then, it's certain that questions about specific past romantic experiences might arise, and that could lead to our neighborly relationship being discovered. That would be extremely dangerous. The one who would suffer the most damage if it were revealed is Sensei, a working adult. My relationship with Sensei, when measured against societal norms, is not something that can be unconditionally celebrated. Even if my love for her is serious, real, and pure, it's unfortunately not something that can be easily accepted by everyone right now. I'm against it. Asking Sensei for advice won't mean much. I can't either. I'm not good with Tenjo Sensei. Good, Akira, that's the response I was hoping for. As usual, push through with your sullenness. Akiaki, why not? Mayuzumi-san counters directly. I think she's a serious and good sensei. but what can you do when faced with nothing but logical arguments? Tenjo-sensei's way of thinking is too straightforward and doesn't fit her. This surprising point of view was an eye-opener for me. I guess it's true not everyone can be liked by everyone. Sometimes, drastic measures are necessary to solve problems. If you leave it Akiaki, you'll be the one in trouble. Mayuzumi-san's lively demeanor can be misleading, but she often hits painfully accurate points. That's true, but... Akira looked at me as if seeking help. If it were a majority vote, the plan to seek advice from Tenjo-sensei would be rejected, but Mayuzumi-san completely dominates the conversation. At this time, Tenjo-sensei is probably coaching at the pool. Wouldn't it be a nuisance to barge in during club activities? The two girls suddenly lean in close and start whispering to each other. Why does Nikki know Ryu-chan sensei's schedule? Huh, Nishiki, are you sensei's stalker? Creepy. Am I being grossly misunderstood? I spoke up for Akira's sake, so why am I being betrayed by the very person concerned? No, it's common knowledge that she's the advisor for the swim club, so she's coaching after school. Nishiki, it's a bit you're not even a member, yet you know the swim club's schedule. Is Nikki into swimsuits or something? The girl's cold stares hurt. I naturally became aware of the swim club's schedule because Tenjo-sensei tends to eat a lot after swimming, so I've made it a habit to plan dinner accordingly. Damn, I let my guard down. I inadvertently dug my own grave here. Forget about me. The important thing is what Akira-aki wants to do. I emphasize Akira's problem resolution with a serious attitude. It's the worst to get caught up in someone else's love problems and end up in an accident. Wow, you're not denying it. You're changing the topic. Why do they always team up so quickly at times like this? Well, I love it. Tenjo-sensei in a swimsuit was the best. It's still etched in my memory. Nikki, could it be that you like Tenjo-sensei? Mayuzumi-san asks a spine-chilling question. Of course. Tenjo-sensei is beautiful, so it's natural for any guy to be interested. I sit in front of the teacher's desk, so sensei is always close by. I brazenly owned up to it as if it were completely normal. Ryu-chan sensei is too beautiful for this school, and on top of that, she's a mature teacher. There's no way you could date her. Still, I wonder why one would end up liking someone like that. Why indeed? Caught off guard by the question, I don't even know myself. Was I mesmerized by her beauty? Did I feel a sense of fate because I knew she was my neighbor? Nishiki likes that type, huh? Maybe I should let my hair grow out. Akira fiddles with her hair. It doesn't matter what my tastes are. Nikki, you're super flustered. That's hilarious. Mayuzumi-san laughs heartily. After a good round of teasing me, Mayuzumi-san finally pushes through her agenda. Let's just go to the pool for now. If it doesn't work out, we can give up. Strike while the iron is hot. Let's go right now. No stopping this momentum. I might as well brace myself. It's safer for me to be there to support Tenjo-sensei than letting them go alone. Interlude 1, Adult Circumstances. So you see, there was a drinking party at work on Friday, but Uenage-kun stayed up and waited for me to come home. Isn't that incredibly sweet? He's such a good kid. On a weekend night, I was chatting on the phone with my best friend in my room as usual. Ryu-chan, first of all, did you really drink so much at the work party that you were completely wasted? I only had the toast beer, and after that, I stuck to oolong tea the whole time. And then, because of the alcohol, you rolled into his room and acted all lovey-dovey and needy. My best friend's voice was unusually chilly. I was just a bit tipsy, it was just a coincidence. Ryu-chan, you're not that weak to alcohol that you'd end up getting a lap pillow from a guy just from being slightly tipsy. When you're with me, you can open a bottle of wine and drink it. That's because I don't feel nervous around you. So, you mean to say you can't be affectionate with him without the help of alcohol? She hit the nail on the head. Ryu-chan. What? I'm tired of hearing you brag about him, my longtime friend confessed in a grave tone. I'm not bragging, am I? How can you say that? You're 100% bragging. Are you unaware? It's like a terrorist act of spilling happiness everywhere. It's too malicious. She was unusually excited and confrontational, which irritated me a bit. It's because you keep asking about my personal life. Why should I be criticized just for talking about everyday events? Honestly, you're acting like a middle schooler who's had a boyfriend for the first time. Oh, is he your first? If you're going to provoke me, I'll hang up. Ah, sorry. I just haven't had any exciting encounters recently, and I'm just taking it out on you. That's even more malicious. What a complainer. Well, I understand why you'd want to show off about snagging the excellent catch next door. Don't talk about him like he's an object. I can't relate to that kind of sentiment. I never expected Ryu-chan, who's in love, to become so smitten it's shocking. You're like a different person from your student days. Serious love changes people, huh? I'm just praising his good points. It sounds nothing, but like you're bragging about your boyfriend. We're not even dating yet. At this point, that just sounds like a lame excuse. Have you guys had sex yet? My friend sounded utterly exasperated. There's no way we could do that. After all that flirting, why worry about it now? As long as you don't get caught, it's fine. Go for it. He's a student, and I'm a teacher. Sounds like a common scenario in AV that would get people excited. Adult video. Why would you, a woman, know so much about AV? Nowadays, women watch AV too. I don't watch it. Today, she's unusually keen on steering the conversation toward dirty jokes. Looks like someone's feeling starved. It's all because of such a sinful woman that the poor boy next door is to be pitied. She sighs dramatically on her own accord. Why should he be pitied? I get ticked off and my tone becomes sharp without thinking. Because you're seducing him without realizing it, and yet you're not letting him do anything naughty. It sounds like you're enjoying making him endure. What kind of play is that, so lewd? What? I'm left speechless. I'm genuinely shocked. You didn't realize. I'm just living normally. Listen, Ryu-chan, you're attractive just by being yourself. Just by moving, you're seductive. Your very existence is erotic. Bravo, you're a femme fatale who raises heart rates just by being close. Don't cheer me on like that. It's the truth. You become completely defenseless around someone you trust, and I, as your longtime friend, know that best. Well, that's one of your charming points. What an unpleasant guarantee. Even your female friends think so. So imagine what it's like with a real boyfriend. You're probably unaware that your body language has become more touchy-feely and your behavior more careless. Despite not having witnessed the scene, my friend's assumptions were highly accurate. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? She asks as if seeing right through me, a little. Reflecting on my actions, I could vaguely recall several relevant instances. You're greatly underestimating it. That's the problem with girls who are giddy from their first love. We're the same age. But when it comes to love experience, we're worlds apart. I can tell she's grinning triumphantly on the other end of the phone. It can't be helped. It's unconscious. Normally, I'd love to tease you endlessly, but since the other party is still a high school student, I haven't done anything that would break the law. I trust your ethics as a teacher, Ryu-chan. That's why I feel sorry for him and a bit worried. Worried. Her way of taking Yuanaga-kun's side is somehow irritating. Ryu-chan, your nice body is a deadly weapon, you know. It's impossible for him to not make a move when such a beauty innocently frolics around him. He's enduring the current state of agony with all his might. My best friend declared with conviction. Enduring with all his might. Ryu-chan, you underestimate men's sexual desire too much. No, I get it. He's even admitted as much himself. Still, Yuanaga-kun has never done anything I would dislike, and we haven't reached a situation that would ruin our current relationship. I do feel a sense of unwarranted guilt, and yet I can't just casually respond to it. Everything is unknown to me, and I'm scared because I can't imagine what would happen to myself. But even that might just be a convenient interpretation for me. You're not seriously enjoying toying with the innocence of young people, are you? My friend asked suspiciously, deliberately speaking in a mean tone. Don't say such terrible things. It's pure love, pure love. I retorted vehemently. But teenage boys are at the age when they're most interested in sexual things. It's really troublesome of Ryu-chan to be around him and not let him do anything. There's nothing I can do about that. At least at home, it should be fine, right? My friend said irresponsibly. No. I denied without hesitation. As expected of Sensei, you're very strict, aren't you? The problem isn't just about professional consciousness, is it? I accidentally let my true feelings slip. If there's something wrong with my behavior, I need to change it properly. Well, women have sexual desires too. There must be times when you fiercely want to have sex. Don't be so vulgar. Getting shy, are we? Just make sure to use protection when you do it. She teased, that's none of your business. I raised my voice, so loud it could have been heard next door. Fortunately, Uenagi-kun has gone back to his parents' house for the weekend, so there's no need to worry about that. I'm not good at this kind of frank talk between women. It's too raw and harsh, and I don't know how to respond. My lack of experience is painfully obvious. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel any panic or embarrassment. Let me tell you something good, Ryu-chan. Even among close friends, eroticism never ceases. I froze, unable to comprehend the meaning of her words. Eroticism, not manners. Give me a detailed explanation. I'd rather cover my ears, but I can't ignore her. This is a matter based on the neighbor agreement. I can't cause any trouble for him. Hee, I love that serious side of you, Ryu-chan. Just tell me. Male-female relationships can never be neatly compartmentalized. Even if a woman isn't interested, men tend to want their partners as they become closer. Women use this trait in romantic tactics to get men interested. But that doesn't mean you should recklessly stir up a man's heart without any real interest. That's just a woman starved for validation. My friend, a seasoned veteran of mixers, speaks with a weight that comes from overwhelming experience. She usually speaks in a gentle tone, but sometimes she shows this uncompromising side. So if you're not careful, a close relationship between a man and a woman can easily be broken. I accepted the conclusion as if admonishing myself. Well, I understand that Ryu-chan is in a complicated position. I sympathize with you for falling in love with a person with a difficult position. But you can't choose who you fall in love with. Is that so? There are plenty of cases where people grow to love someone they started dating based on conditions. I absolutely can't do that unless it's with someone I like. I can't skillfully separate my feelings and act accordingly. You're enduring it just as much, Ryu-chan. My friend said as if seeing through my heart. Rest assured. It's natural to desire someone you like. Honestly, if all of Ryu-chan's complicated circumstances were gone, what would you do? She asked, empathizing with my heart. My silence was the answer. But if you keep putting him off, he might reach his limit first. Limit. Honestly, he might drift towards a classmate with potential rather than an older woman who won't let him do anything. That wouldn't happen. On what basis? Well, Uenagi-kun cares about me. People cheat when they cheat. Humans are often driven more by instinct than reason. It takes an extraordinary will to resist the natural surge within. If Uenagi-kun is as wonderful as Ryu-chan is crazy about, it wouldn't be strange if there were girls around him who like him. It's most natural for students to play at love with each other. She hit a sore spot that I usually try not to think about. Moreover, I knew an example of it. Nishiki Uenagi-kun had to leave his family home because his stepsister, Kaguya-chan, had come to like him as a member of the opposite sex. Why do you say things that could ruin our friendship? Unable to deny it emotionally, I let out a resentful remark. I don't want Ryu-chan to get hurt. If necessary, I'll play the villain. She spoke with a gentle tone. I don't need it, I trust Uenagi-kun. I want Ryu-chan's happiness above all else. Section. That night, I couldn't get the conversation with my best friend out of my head, and I ended up tossing and turning in bed. Ever since then, I've found myself unavoidably watching him more at school. In the classroom, he's right in front of me, so he naturally comes into my field of vision. There's no avoiding it. When I think about it, it's quite rare to have a workplace where the person you like is so close by. Even when I try to concentrate on the blackboard or the lecture during class, there are moments when my attention wavers. During breaks or after homeroom, I can't help but be concerned when I see female students around him. It's natural for classmates to talk to each other. Even if I try to rationalize it, there's a stir in the depths of my heart. I hate myself for becoming so suspicious and distrustful, especially since Uenagi-kun calls Kyuhyun-san every morning to wake her up. Even though she prefers to be alone, she often talks with him. Today, after school, she joined Uenagi-kun, who was about to head home after she had been confessed to by another male student. No, Mayuzumi-san, who is also good friends with her, was there too, so it was just a coincidence. No, what am I thinking? Getting involved with a student? It's disgraceful. Adult jealousy is unseemly. I'm angry at myself for being weak and getting anxious over trivial matters. Don't blame your lack of confidence on him. Even though I understand this, I can't calm the turmoil in my heart. That's why, during club activities, I swam with all my might, desperately trying to distract myself. Chapter 2, Bluff. Leading the way, Mayuzumi-san and the three of us arrived at the indoor pool located within the school. Ririka, I'm going to check something with a friend from the swim club. You two wait here, okay? Leaving us in front of the pool, the well-connected Mayuzumi-san zipped inside. Her assertiveness was truly frightening. As they say, autumn days shorten quickly, and it had already darkened outside the window. I wonder how we ended up in this situation. Honestly, I'm really not keen on it. As a personal rule, I tried to avoid meeting Tenjo-sensei outside of the classroom as much as possible. I was afraid of being suspected from the slightest bit of conversation, and there was a chance that our relationship could be exposed by our behavior. When we were previously locked in the gym storage room, I was overwhelmed by the impulse to kiss her. If Akira and Mayuzumi-san hadn't come to our rescue, I don't know what might have happened in various senses. I learned the lesson that suppressing my feelings for someone is no easy feat. I wish Tenjo-sensei would just decline for us, then we could go home today. Akira muttered beside me. Akira, I didn't know you had a hard time with Tenjo-sensei. Well, you know, she's kind of perfect. Akira said with some difficulty. Is that so? Why the question mark? You see any flaws? Oops, a slip of the tongue. The objective image of Tenjo Ryu is certainly as Akira described. Few would doubt that. The more I learned about her private life, the more I was surprised by the gap and drawn to her even more. Ah, no. It's just a general statement that everyone has their weaknesses. No deep meaning. Still, when someone as flawless as her speaks the hard truth, it makes you want to rebel for no reason. Remember, I got into an argument with Sensei when she pointed out my tardiness in the first term. Does it strike a complex? I don't want to admit it, but yeah. Actually, it's you who have the guts to speak your mind to Tenjo-sensei, Akira. Don't you think getting emotionally snappy is rather childish? Well, it's best to avoid getting irritated and lashing out at Sensei when seeking advice. If Ririka is the accelerator, then Nishiki is the brake. I rely on that. So Akira sees our presence like that. Maybe I should cover your mouth before you start howling, Akira. I'll sue you for sexual harassment if you touch me. I was glared at fiercely. I didn't have the courage for that. Physically, it seems to be a no-go. Now that we've come this far, we're in this together. Akira made up her mind. Her manner was refreshingly and cleanly that of a former sportsman. What's with that exaggerated expression? Nishiki and I aren't that close. Don't give off such a meaningful nuance. But we're more than just classmates, right? I guess close enough to give each other wake-up calls. People might misunderstand that. Akira seemed somewhat amused. Opportunities to hear the voice of the opposite sex upon waking up are rare. You just need to stop oversleeping. It was Nishiki who offered the lifeline first. I didn't ask for it. When she said that, it made me sound like a good guy overflowing with kindness. In reality, it was for a more personal reason. I intervened in the tardiness issue of Kyuhu and Akira, hoping to solve the troubles of my neighbor, Tenjo-sensei. Of course, I couldn't possibly tell Akira about such behind-the-scenes motives. Don't get the wrong idea, I'm surprisingly heartless. If it gets too much, I'll run away without hesitation. I'm grateful for it, that's enough for me. Akira didn't seem particularly bothered. Nikki, Akiaki. We have a break coming up, so get ready by taking off your socks. Mayuzumi-san returned, her twin tails bouncing, and I followed suit, taking off my shoes and socks and carefully rolling up the cuffs of my uniform trousers. The two girls, unconcerned about their skirts, quickly took off their socks as well. Nikki, don't peek. I won't. If you're concerned, maybe you should adjust the length of your skirt. Tisk, girls wear their skirts short for their own fashion. Nikki, you prude, just keep your eyes on Akiaki's bare legs. Ririka, come on, Akiaki's legs are kind of sexy, right? They're slim but well-shaped. Right, Nikki? With that said, I couldn't help but take a good look. Indeed. Don't stare and don't agree. Akira blushed, bending forward and crossing her arms in an attempt to hide her legs. Of course, her arms could hardly block my view, and instead, the tightness around her chest was emphasized. Moreover, Akira always leaves the top buttons of her shirt undone so her cleavage was clearly visible. I hurriedly looked away. Wow, sexy gravure pose? Akiaki, you're giving too much service just because it's in front of Nikki. It's not like that. And her skin is so smooth and plump. Mayuzumi-san clung to Akira's thigh, like a stag beetle climbing a tree. Hiya, Ririka, stop it. Ririka, you're going to make me develop a leg fetish. Just get off me, I'll pull out your twin tails. Akira was trying to pry Ririka's legs off with both hands, as if they were performing a professional wrestling move. Their relationship was something I couldn't quite understand. They had been in the same class since last year and hung out on holidays, but they didn't have the typical cliquey atmosphere of girls. They would fight in the classroom and then play around like this. It was this strange sense of distance that defined their relationship. Section. Excuse me. Guided by Mayuzumi-san's friend, we were led to the poolside. It's kind of fun to walk by the poolside in uniform, isn't it? I could relate to Mayuzumi-san's words. The sensation of wet soles, the feel of the floor, and the unique atmosphere that was damp yet not unpleasant. It felt special to experience this in uniform. It was like stepping out of the everyday or recalling the distant hint of summer. Well, if Akira wasn't sulking beside me, I could have immersed myself in this emotional mood. We'll finish our business quickly and head back. I know that. Now, where could Ryu-chan Sensei be? Tenjo Sensei, our club advisor, was nowhere to be seen on the poolside. If not there, she might be swimming in the pool. The club members swimming in each lane were all beautifully formed and swam faster than I had imagined. They moved quietly and smoothly through the water, barely causing any splashes. Their regular yet powerful strokes were impressive to watch. Indeed, the swimming of those who joined sports clubs in high school was on a completely different level compared to regular physical education classes. Among them, my eyes were drawn to the persons swimming in the farthest lane. Swimming with the intensity of a real competition, moving through the water as if gliding beneath the surface with a grace that was almost elegant. Ah, there's Ryu-chan Sensei. Mayuzumi-san was the first to notice and started to jog towards the poolside. Hey, no running on the poolside. Even after just removing her goggles, the swimming club advisor didn't miss a thing. She emerged from the water, drenched, looking like a mermaid princess appearing from the sea. I was captivated by her appearance. Wait, Mayuzumi-san, and Kyuhun-san, and even Yuan, Nishiki-kun. What's going on? She definitely almost called me by my first name just now. Ryu-chan Sensei, sorry for barging in like this. Akiaki wanted to ask for some love advice. It was Ririka who brought us here. Love advice? All three of you? Tenjo Sensei looked at me, her gaze filled with confusion. No, Nikki just came to see Sensei in her swimsuit. Mayuzumi-san, don't lie. Sensei, that's not it. It's just a joke. Nikki thought he could offer a male perspective on things. Caught in a sudden betrayal, I hurriedly denied it. Nishiki the pervert, Akira's mood was getting worse by the side as she muttered so. Caught between the giggling Mayuzumi-san and the irritated Akira, I felt awkward and turned my gaze to Sensei standing in front of me. This was the second time I'd seen Tenjo Sensei in a competitive swimsuit since that time in the apartment bathroom. Back then, I was sick, and I could only see her through a mirror. So I was overwhelmed by the destructive power of seeing her from the front. The competitive swimsuit, seen in its proper setting. The wet surface glistened, highlighting a beautiful body line as it clung to her. Her style was as beautiful as ever, and I couldn't help but be mesmerized. Her damp hair looked seductive. It was a feast for the eyes. I was embarrassed about where to look, but at the same time, I wanted to keep staring. Nishiki-kun, it's quite embarrassing to be stared at so intently. Sensei advised me while trying to maintain her composure. Ah. Oh, sorry. I averted my gaze. Let's not stand around talking, shall we move to that bench over there? So as not to disturb the swimming club, we continued our conversation on a bench at the edge of the poolside. Sensei put on a jersey, covering up her swimsuit. Still, her long bare legs were enough to make me struggle with where to look. It felt strangely erotic to have it partially hidden. No good, lately the physical contact with Sensei at home has increased, and the sight of her nearly naked stimulates my imagination too much. I tried my best not to look at Sensei to avoid any misunderstandings. Sorry, I'm in the middle of club activities, so let's keep this brief. So Kyuhun-san, is your love consultation about something like what happened after school today? Teacher mode Tenjo Ryu remained calm and composed, ready to listen to her students' concerns. Akiaki has been like a magnet for love confessions lately. She's annoyed by all the attention and wants to do something about it. Mayuzumi-san relayed the consultation as if she were a proxy. What exactly does Kyuhyun-san want to do? I just don't like my pace being disrupted, so I want them to leave me alone. Akira answered bluntly. Romantic feelings are ultimately individual, so it's difficult to suppress them outright. Why not just make a school rule against romance? It could be justified as a distraction from academics. It would be tough to change school rules that affect all students. Sensei responded sincerely to Akira's extreme suggestion. Akira disliked being bound by rules, yet she sought help from school regulations, which was rather ironic. Akiaki, if you do that, won't you be unable to experience romance yourself? Is that okay with you? I'm not interested in romance. Even if you're not interested in romance, isn't there someone you're interested in? Mayuzumi-san hinted at something slyly. We came here to hear Sensei's opinion. Tenjo-sensei, when you were a student and received confessions from people you didn't like, what did you do? Ignoring Mayuzumi-san's words, Akira posed her question. I don't think I was confessed to that much. It's annoying when Sensei denies it. Akira rejected the insincere lie. Her frank attitude was as impressive as ever. Tenjo-sensei, I want to know the trick to rejecting confessions from people I'm not interested in without stress. Or better yet, how to avoid getting confessed to at all. If it's not too much trouble, I'd like to hear about your personal experiences for reference. Akira's eyes were serious. Feeling a sense of urgency from her for the first time, I began to feel out of place. That's right. Ririka also wants to hear about Ryu-chan sensei's bittersweet episodes from the past. Like who her boyfriend was, I'm super curious. Mayuzumi-san was interested for a different reason. There are no bittersweet episodes. I didn't date at all when I was a student. Tenjo-sensei answered matter-of-factly. Did you dislike men? Akira was taken aback. Mayuzumi-san had a similar reaction. In the past, I didn't believe in romantic feelings at all. I couldn't help but be curious about Sensei's views on romance, even though I intended to remain an observer. It might be rude to say this, but the old me was similar to Kyuhyun-san. I kept my interactions to a minimum and was bad at feigning friendliness. I was emotional and impulsive, sensitive to everything, and it was tiring to react to everything, so I kept my distance from others. Sorry if I'm wrong. No, you're right, but it's surprising. Akira was bewildered by her past. Indeed, it's hard to imagine given Tenjo-sensei's current brightness and approachability. I hated being approached by strangers and would reflexively respond with harsh words to push them away. I wasn't interested in romance, and I wanted to be left alone, and it bothered me that I was seen as a romantic target. Her behavior was exactly like Kyuhyun Akira's. I totally understand. Akira leaned in, empathizing. Hearing from Tenjo-sensei herself that she was similar to Kyuhyun Akira during her student days, it was only natural for Akira to relate, as she was experiencing the same thing in the present. In my case, a concerned best friend took care of me. If someone wanted to confess to Tenjo Ryu, they had to go through her, like she was my manager. That's nice, Sensei, to have a friend who would go to such lengths for you. That best friend still meddles in my affairs, and it can be a bit much sometimes, but yeah. Akira looked envious. Akiaki has Ririka, right? Be grateful. Yes, thank you. Akira responded casually. So, if Mayuzumi-san took on the role of Akira's manager, would that solve the problem? Since swimming club practice seemed about to resume, I hurried to a conclusion. Ririka isn't suited for that. Ririka thinks so too. Akira dismissed the idea, and Mayuzumi-san herself agreed. They only synchronized in moments like this. I thought Mayuzumi-san would be happy to take on the role. Nikki, Ririka likes watching other people's romances, but I don't want to be involved. I prefer to watch from the audience side. All I can do is cheer. After dragging us along, she now says she won't touch the crucial part. What's she thinking? Mayuzumi-san, isn't that a bit much? That's why, Nikki, you should take that place. Mayuzumi-san maintained her nonchalant demeanor and dropped the bombshell. No, if a guy like me gets involved, it'll definitely get complicated. Sensei also disagrees. Tenjo-sensei quickly concurred. But it's a good idea, isn't it? Nikki talks a lot with Akiaki, so it would be natural. If another boy rejects the confession on behalf of Kyuhyun-san, it might give Kyuhyun-san a bad reputation. Just as Sensei said, if a response to a confession came from an unknown boy, it would leave an even worse taste, and it would be infuriating no matter how you look at it. Above all, having one's sincere feelings disregarded would only deepen the wound. Ryu-chan Sensei. To a man, the woman who rejected him is the villain who hurt him anyway. Mayuzumi-san struck at a poignant truth. Nikki would handle it sincerely, and the other party would back down. Plus, he's a handsome guy who's a perfect match for a Kiyaki. Mayuzumi-san confidently gave a thumbs up. What's okay about that? I couldn't understand her leap in logic at all. Mayuzumi-san, you know. Tenjo-sensei was also puzzled, wondering how to change the subject. Ryu-chan Sensei, don't you think Nikki is handsome? As a teacher, I cannot make personal comments about a student's appearance. Even though Nikki sits near you every day, Tenjo-sensei, you don't think anything of it. Mayuzumi-san was throwing out dangerously provocative words. All my students are equally my students. Then wouldn't it be quicker if Nikki just became a Kiyaki boyfriend? Mayuzumi-san suggested something outrageous. Wait a minute. Me, Sensei, and Akira all exclaimed in surprise at the same time. It's just a pretense, an act. Since Nikki is thought to be the boy who gets along best with a Kiyaki, it wouldn't be too far-fetched, right? It is unreasonable. It's too reckless, it's completely absurd. I vehemently deny it. Really? I think the two of you together would make sense, don't you think so, Ryu-chan Sensei? I do not think so. As a teacher, I cannot overlook the act of lying to those around you. Mayuzumi-san's suggestion is absurd. But, you know, the cultural festival is coming up. There will be even more boys trying to get close to a Kiyaki by taking advantage of the event. Mayuzumi-san's threat is not an exaggeration. Akira also had a premonition that things would get even noisier from now on, which is why she came to consult with Sensei. But that doesn't mean I can take on such a role. I have someone I like, Tenjo Ryu. It all comes down to whether a Kiyaki wants it or not. Until now, Akira had been silent, but now all three gazes were fixed on her. Of course, Akira would never agree to such an outrageous proposal. She should just reject it with her usual merciless retort and be done with it. Come on, cut it off sharply. But no matter how long it takes, Akira doesn't deny it. All that's there is a high school girl, full of embarrassment and conflict. Eventually, she lifts her head with a determined expression and comes before me. Nishiki, please. Act as my boyfriend until the cultural festival is over. Akira's usual haughty demeanor hasn't changed. However, instead of denying it, she's pleading for me to accept that outlandish solution. Kyuhuin Akira is saying, please. I thought I must have misheard. But seeing Akira's serious expression, Mayuzumi-san's smug smile, and Tenjo-sensei's face frozen in shock, I was convinced that everyone had heard the same words. Nikki, now is the time to show what kind of man you are. Mayuzumi-san stirs things up irresponsibly. Perhaps her behavior up to this point was a ploy to get me to play the boyfriend role from the beginning. The story was so well thought out that I couldn't help but suspect it. It's just for show, don't overthink it. Just rely on Nikki when in trouble. If there's no problem between you two, you can even act lovey-dovey like real lovers or maybe even start dating for real. Wow, isn't that exciting? Mayuzumi-san is the only one getting excited and rattling on. I'm too scared to look at Sensei. My decision to refuse hasn't changed, but how can I get her to understand? Do you have someone you like, Nishiki? I do. I said it, I really said it. Even if I can't openly talk about it, my feelings won't waver. That much I wanted to declare in front of the person herself. Is it a student at this school? No, it's not. The person is not a student, but a teacher. I'm sorry for making you wake me up every morning even though you have someone you like. But I'm grateful, and I know this is an unreasonable request. I'm not keen on it either, but you're the only one I can rely on, so please help me. Once this is over, you don't have to do the morning calls anymore. So please cooperate. Akira appeals with a desperate expression. I hadn't realized how stressed she was about confessions that she would agree to such a ridiculous proposal. Behind her usual defiant expression, she seemed to be desperately trying to get through it. The morning routine, she was so desperate that she didn't mind ending the morning calls she had never allowed me to stop. I had never imagined that. It was all a bluff. Now that I knew how urgent Akira was, a slight hesitation crept in. Tenjo-sensei lifted her face, which had been slightly downcast. Nishiki-kun, please accept. I heard words that made me doubt my ears. Are you serious? You were against it just a moment ago. If Kyuhuin-san is really in trouble, I can't just ignore her as her homeroom teacher. But the method is absurd. I was annoyed at being indirectly pushed by Sensei, and I ended up denying it without choosing my words. Maybe so. Even though she had made the neighbor agreement with me and was seeking eternal love, she was allowing me to play the role of another girl's boyfriend. That premise was overturned. Sensei, are you really okay with this? Her eyelashes trembled as if she was disturbed by my question. That's why. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear anything about this conversation. She answered with an unnaturally bright voice, as if shaking off her inner conflict. But that's no different from not doing anything as a teacher. Let's think of a more proper solution. If so, I'll cooperate as much as you want. A teacher isn't omnipotent, and there are limits to what we can do. So you see, Nishiki-kun, Tenjo-sensei stated without disturbing her expression. Her mask as a teacher did not waver. To anyone who didn't know about our relationship, it would sound like just turning a blind eye. However, for the parties involved, Nishiki Uenagi and Tenjo Ryu, it's a different story. Such a thing should not be allowed, even if it's a lie. If the roles were reversed, I would definitely hate it. Of course, I immediately understood that Tenjo-sensei did not really want this. As a homeroom teacher, I'd appreciate it if Uenagi-kun could help Kyuhuin-san as a classmate if she's in trouble. Tenjo Ryu maintained her position of supporting Mayuzumi-san's proposal from the standpoint of a teacher. And at this timing, that line was unfair. At that time, I acted voluntarily for the sake of making Tenjo-sensei happy. To solve the worries I had expressed in my room, I volunteered to be the morning call person for Kyuhuin Akira, who was often late. She is now implicitly urging me to repeat that. Is it really okay? I ask once more for confirmation. Helping Kyuhuin Akira, doesn't that go against the neighbor agreement? Clause 6. Neither party shall have a romantic partner until graduation. Despite this, why does Tenjo-sensei seem to condone it? It's neither okay nor not okay. I didn't hear anything about it. Tenjo-sensei's smile seems somewhat fragile. Because I see her every day, I notice the slight discomfort. She's putting on a brave face, unable to maintain her cheerful teacher's act. Ah, she's serious. She's really prepared to let me handle this. It seems the thoughts of homeroom teacher Tenjo Ryu and neighbor Tenjo Ryu are different. Is this what it means to work as an adult in society, to clearly separate public and private life? It's difficult for me, a student. Difficult, but from the Golden Week experience, I've come to understand Tenjo Ryu's thinking. She always goes all out for her students. She's the kind of compassionate woman who would bring up a breakup if it's for my sake, even if she loves me. All right, I got it. If you want me to take it on, there's no way I can say no. It's a kind of desperation. I can't refuse because of my own weakness for love. If the person I love wishes for it, I have no choice but to respond. Nishiki. Akira's expression softens as if relieved. Yes, then let's all work together as accomplices, including Ryu-chan sensei. Mayuzumi-san energetically wraps up the discussion, and before I know it, I've accepted the role. Sensei is soon called away by the swimming club members and returns to coaching practice. Since our business is done, we also leave the pool early. My steps are quick with irritation. If Kyuhuin Akira has a boyfriend, the confessions from other male students will decrease. It might be an effective strategy, but I never thought Sensei would approve it. With that confusion trailing behind, I head home. Mayuzumi-san suddenly says she's meeting other friends and leaves midway. On the way back from school to the station, it's just Akira and me. The road we walk together every morning feels unusually long today. I think about escaping to the usual convenience store under some pretext, but today it feels too unnatural. And so, the awkward silence persists, and we reach the station without conversation. We live in the same direction, so we share the same platform. The train that arrives is crowded with the rush-hour commute. We force our way into the packed car, and as more people board from behind, Akira and I end up pressed close together. Just bear with it for a while. Unable to move away, the train starts with us stuck together. I let Akira stand by the door and try to keep some distance by bracing my arm. Nishiki, do you dislike me? It's not a matter of liking or disliking you, Akira. But you've been quiet since earlier. Being thrust into the role of boyfriend all of a sudden is a bit much. It's just an act. Just think of it that way, I will too. In the crowded train, we whisper so as not to bother others. I don't have the courage for that. An act is about playing a role or a setting. In other words, performing a lie as if it's real. Just behave as usual. If someone calls out to me, I'll just use Nishiki as an excuse to turn them down. Is that all there is to it? I can't shake the feeling that her estimation is too optimistic. Nishiki, I'd be troubled if you suddenly got too familiar with me as if you're my real boyfriend too. I'd probably punch you. Don't solve it with violence. I retort without thinking, and Akira smiles. You're finally looking at me. As the train hits a curve and we're pushed by the crowd, I end up completely pressed against Akira. Ah. Sorry. It's okay. It's cramped, so don't strain yourself, Nishiki. Akira is unusually docile. In this closeness, I realize that Kyuhuin Akira is smaller than I thought. Her haughty attitude makes it hard to see, but she's also a fragile girl, of course. Seeing her face this close for the first time, I notice she wears makeup that gives her a strong impression, as if to hide her youthful and delicate features. Men are clueless about makeup, only seeing the superficial, and I'm painfully reminded of that. If it comes down to it, I feel I must protect her. That sensation arises within me. I have little experience with love, so I tend to be guarded. Me too. Don't do anything reckless. But with you, Nishiki, I feel it's okay. Akira's response is more honest than usual. I almost forget her usual sharp tongue, but Kyuhuin Akira is a beautiful girl who gets confessions from many guys. Any normal guy would probably be thrilled at the unexpected chance to play her boyfriend. Maybe if I were to date a classmate girl, it would start awkwardly like this. An ordinary love, a scene of youth. A love with no need to hide with an easy partner. I can't help but think it's not so bad. If we get caught, it's going to be incredibly troublesome. I reminded myself sternly of the harsh reality. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. You're as decisive as ever. I don't mind getting a bad reputation myself, but I'm sorry if it affects you, Nishiki. Don't start apologizing now. But let's just make sure we don't get caught and act confidently until the cultural festival is over. Thank you, Nishiki. Now that we've come this far, it's a matter of taking things as they come. All that's left is to do our best in this over-the-top performance. And when the time is right, we can spread rumors that we've broken up. Once the short third term ends after the winter break, we'll be moving on to our senior year. As exam students, we won't have the luxury to talk about likes and dislikes anymore. Ah, this is where I get off. From tomorrow on, I'm counting on you. Let's give it our all. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the challenges that await us. Just how combative is this woman named Kyuhuin Akira? Akira, who had gotten off at the station, waved at me until the doors closed and she was out of sight. Interlude 2, disqualified as a teacher. Even after the three of them left the pool, I couldn't get Kyuhuin-san's romance consultation out of my head. It's too late to regret it now. No matter how much I blame myself, it can't be helped. To think that I, of all people, involved Uenagi-kun in such a decision surprises me. Surprisingly, I had involved Uenagi-kun and made such a decision because Kyuhuin-san reminded me of myself when I was younger, and her pretend boyfriend was none other than Uenagi-kun. I was convinced that he could handle it well. As a teacher, I couldn't just ignore it, but deep down, I was reluctant. There's a limit to separating professional and personal life. As a human being, can one really switch so easily between the two? As I was caught in this cycle of emotions, riding the train home, I received a message from Uenagi-kun. Uenagi, please make sure to have dinner with me today. I have something to discuss regarding Clause 6 of the neighbor agreement. I won't forgive you if you run away. Thoroughly nailed, I thought to myself. He had seen right through my feelings. I was at a loss for how to respond, as everything I thought of seemed like an excuse. While I typed and deleted messages, I found myself back at the nearest station to my apartment. Ryu, yes. I ended up with a simple reply, thinking that it wouldn't be conveyed properly unless we spoke directly. Not feeling like going straight home, I stopped by a convenience store on the way back and bought a bunch of sweets as an apology and for binge eating. When I arrived at the apartment, I rang the doorbell of his room, number 102. He greeted me at the entrance, arms crossed, wearing an apron. The faint scent of dinner wafted through the air. He seemed to have prepared the meal as usual. Welcome back. Ah, I'm back. Here, I brought some souvenirs. Let's eat them after dinner. Please put them in the fridge. My voice sounded weak and spiritless, unlike me. I was nervously unable to look him in the eye. Thank you. Tonight's dinner is takekomi gohan, as requested. Wow, I'm looking forward to it. I tried to show my excitement, but it came out awkwardly. Please wash your hands and gargle first. Let's have dinner after our talk, at our leisure. He took the sweets and went inside first. When I went from the washroom to the room, 2 cups of green tea were steaming on the table. Section. Sorry to keep you waiting. He was sitting in his usual spot, so I naturally took my usual place and found myself sitting in Seiza. You're angry, aren't you? Of course. I'm sorry. Why did you agree to it? No, I'm also to blame for accepting it. As soon as I apologized, he also vented the words he hadn't been able to say at that moment. In this room, we're not teacher and student, age doesn't matter, we're just neighbors. Equals, if I had outright denied it in that situation, wouldn't it have looked suspicious? I wanted you to deny it with all your might until the end. I wanted to do that too. Honestly, I was hurt. It was really hard for me too. Both of us felt dejected all over again. Tenjo-san, was there really no other way? If there had been, I would have said it right there. But you accepted it. He couldn't hide his dissatisfaction. Naturally, he would feel that way. Still, you have a history of helping Kyuhun-san, Yunagi-kun. I pouted and let out my true feelings in a sulky manner. That was something I started because I wanted to be of help to you, Tenjo-san. And please don't bring up something from half a year ago now. I can't help it, I still have lingering frustrations deep down. He was right, the initial impetus was my own words. And now it's come full circle, bouncing back on me. I've made my bed, now I have to lie in it. Yet the people around me are kind. They notice the unintentional signs of me asking for help and lend their support. I should be grateful, not resentful. I'm the one who's always taking advantage of their kindness. And yet, would you use the same words at that timing? That's just unfair. The only way to get the message across to you is to use that kind of code. It's like a secret language. Of course, it was too much of a killer phrase, and it worked perfectly. Uenagi-kun immediately understood my intentions and accepted the role, knowing full well what it entailed. It made me happy, yet also a little sad. If we're going to have a secret conversation, I would have preferred a more enjoyable topic. I agree. We naturally looked into each other's eyes. Let's stop this. It's just too futile. I agree. It's so painful it feels like my heart is dying. Just thinking about what lies ahead makes me feel downhearted. Why do you support Akira so much? Uenagi-kun seemed puzzled. From his perspective, my judgment must be utterly incomprehensible. I understand Kyuhun-san's feelings all too well. Struggling while keeping up a brave front, disguising the hurt self, hiding it from others. Tenjo Ryu and Kyuhun Akira are different people. Even so, now that I've realized it, I want to somehow be of help. You can't leave it alone, because it feels like you're looking at your past self. Uenagi-kun's face turned unusually grim. Yeah. Uenagi-kun let out a grand sigh. Sensei, you really do care about your student. To make such a painful decision again, even though you can't come to terms with it. Still, if you push yourself too hard, Tenjo-san will be the one to break. And on top of that, I've dragged you into this mess. It's the worst, isn't it? That's right. If it were any other guy, they would either be furious or blatantly taking advantage of the situation. Taking advantage? Isn't it like giving permission to openly cheat? That's not it at all. I stood up, vehemently trying to deny it, and lost my balance with too much force. My legs were numb from sitting in Seiza. I fell to the floor, collapsing into his arms. Let's just say this was an accidental fall. Uenagi-kun tried to pull away immediately, attempting to remove his arm from around my back. I swam too much today. Hi. I'll probably have muscle soreness tomorrow, and I haven't eaten dinner, so I'm too famished to move. That means I can't move. I'm also tired from preparing the meal, so I'll take a little break. He understood my roundabout wish and relaxed his strength. Feeling his body warmth and touch, I almost felt like crying. You didn't understand what you were agreeing to, allowing infidelity like that. Zahi. The idea of granting permission for cheating had never crossed my mind, due to my immense trust in him. My own words added insult to injury. I trust you, Uenagi-kun. Your face doesn't look like you trust me. It's full of anxiety. But you know. He gently wiped away my tears with his hand. If you're going to pretend to be strong, do it more convincingly. I'm about to die of guilt here. I can't have Uenagi-kun die on me. I don't want to be a widow. I threw a childish tantrum. Even the premature worry of not being married yet made me sad just imagining such a future. I want to be together as long as possible forever. That is the eternal love I yearn for. With this, it's hard to tell who's the older one. If only you were the adult, I wouldn't have to worry like this. I think that every day. His agreement made my cheeks loosen. But if we weren't teacher and student, we wouldn't have met. If my family situation hadn't been problematic, I wouldn't be living alone, and I couldn't have become Tenjo-san's neighbor. If I hadn't shared food with you, we wouldn't have noticed each other's existence. Life is strange. Even if there are unpleasant or painful things, they can lead to new happiness and joy. A current failure doesn't mean everything is over. If I catch a cold, you take care of me, and when I was troubled with my relationship with my stepsister, you took me to the sea and pushed me forward, suppressing your own feelings. And now, you've made me lie about being a classmate's boyfriend, something you hate the most. Ugh. His kindness, understanding everything, tightened around my heart. That he supports me, full of flaws, without abandoning me, makes this younger man too good of a person. That's why I worry and can't leave you alone. It's because Tenjo Ryu is so straightforward and uncalculating that Nishiki Uenagi fell for you. You won't change your mind for another girl, will you? A lingering insecurity made me ask such a trivial question. It was probably because of the conversation with my best friend the other day. Honestly, he might drift towards a classmate with potential rather than an older woman who won't let him do anything. So if we have a physical relationship, will that keep the feelings tied down? That's probably not the case. My parents gave birth to me and then went to be with other partners without looking back at each other. Is eternal love just an illusion in this world? An unattainable dream? A convenient lie? Will the feelings in my heart one day change like my parents did? I've never felt this way about anyone before, so I'm scared because I don't know what will happen. While seeking eternal love, it's actually me who's doubting it. Tenjo-san. I'm sorry, I asked something stupid. Don't worry, I'll just keep lying as hard as I can. Making a student lie, what a failure as a teacher. Teachers are human too, so it's impossible for them to be perfect. That kind of kindness might lead others to misunderstand. Sometimes, his charm becomes frightening. It hurts to hear that. It's only natural for Kaguya-chan to fall for Uenagi-kun. It's thanks to Tenjo-san that the broken family relationship I couldn't fix on my own was mended. I can't imagine anyone else but you. How can you say such things so casually? I sit up from his chest to plead my case. My face is hot. Surely, my ears must be bright red by now. On the contrary, Tenjo-san, you don't express yourself enough. This is a good opportunity, so please tell me, what do you think of me? He looks up at me with a full-faced smile, seeking an answer. Well that's you see. I become flustered. Huh, what's that? Sensei, I can't hear you very well. Please speak up clearly. Don't talk like we're in class. Stop teasing an adult. I don't want to be told that by someone who plays with the innocence of students. What? I'm not doing anything like that. It's happening right now as we speak. At that moment, I realize I'm straddling him on the floor. A close friend had pointed out something similar to me. The words echo in my head. You're not seriously enjoying toying with the innocence of young people, are you? Is this what it was all about? I had again unknowingly done something shameless. It's like I'm being attacked. That's not it. I jump back, quickly putting distance between us, until I reach the edge of the bed. Are we continuing this on the bed? Just eat dinner, let's have dinner. I put on a brave front, trying to gloss over what just happened. He forgives me with a laugh, as he always does. We exchange honest words and share a delicious meal. Just that is enough for me to regain my true self. For now, this is fine. It's okay, it's only until the cultural festival is over. Surely, everything will work out. But reality isn't so simple that it goes as one wishes just by praying. The next day, when I go to school, shocking news hits me. Section. Hey, Tenjo-sensei, did you hear? Kyuhuin-san and Nishiki-kun have started dating. The lie we had crafted yesterday had spread as if it were the truth. Chapter 3, A Woman in Love Tells Lies. It was awkward to give Akira a wake-up call the day after yesterday, but this was something I had started myself. I steeled myself and dialed the number. Normally, she would pick up fairly quickly, but this time the ringing went on. It's unusual. Maybe she overslept. Akira must have had a lot on her mind. Perhaps she went to bed late, troubled by her thoughts. Should I wait a bit and try calling again? It would defeat the purpose if she ended up being late. As long as I'm in charge of the wake-up calls, I'll make sure she gets to school on time without fail. Just as I was about to hang up, thinking this, the call connected. Hello, Nishiki. Good morning, Akira. Did you oversleep? Her voice was clearer than usual for someone who had just woken up. Moreover, I could sense a hint of panic in her voice. In the background, I could hear noises that I usually wouldn't. Was she not in bed? Sorry, I can't talk right now. I have to go. Meet you at the usual time at the station. See you later. She unilaterally conveyed her message and hung up. I don't get it. Normally, she would engage in a long, trivial conversation, but it seemed she had already been awake. Could the matter of pretending to be lovers be affecting her? No, it's just an act. There's no need to be so thoroughly on guard. This is Akira we're talking about. While tilting my head in confusion, I prepared breakfast and waited for Tenjo-san to arrive. But no matter how long I waited, she didn't show up. Worried, I tried calling her, but there was no response. Did she say she didn't need breakfast this morning? I tried to recall our conversation from the day before and checked our messages, but there was no such communication. As time ticked away, I grew more anxious. It's fine if she's already gone to school, just to be sure. Worried, I impulsively went to check on the neighbor. I pressed the intercom for room 103. Silence, no response. I pressed the intercom one more time. Tenjo-san, it's Nishiki. Are you still in your room, or have you left already? Then I heard hurried footsteps approaching from inside. Sorry. I overslept. Tenjo-san, who must have leapt out of bed, opened the door still in her disheveled sleepwear. The beauty that appeared before me was still stunning without makeup. Her hair was a mess, and she was in her pajamas, but her charm was undiminished. Her top button was undone, revealing her cleavage. And it seemed she didn't wear underwear to sleep, as with every movement, her chest swayed tantalizingly under the thin fabric of her pajamas. Good morning. I greeted, turning my eyes away. You really saved me. I totally overslept. If that's the case, I'm glad. But Tenjo-san, What's wrong, Nishiki-kun? Your face is all red. You don't have a fever, do you? It's just, I don't know where to look. Realizing her state of dress from my comment, she exclaimed, No, don't look. Tenjo-san crouched down in the entranceway. I'm so sorry. I'll go back inside right away. Please get ready, Sensei. I turned around in a hurry and closed the door. In the hallway outside, I let out a big sigh. It was quite a stimulating sight for the morning. What would happen if we actually started dating? Nishiki-kun. Sensei timidly opened the door, peeking out just her face. Yes, what is it? Thank you. No problem. Please go ahead and get ready. And please let me know before you leave. Okay. I went back to my room and repacked the breakfast into a lunchbox while waiting for Sensei to get ready. The leftover rice from yesterday's cooked meal would make good onigiri, easy to eat with one hand. The cause of the oversleeping must be the matter between Akira and me. No matter how calm she appears, and no matter how much she insists she's fine, the heart cannot lie. All I can do is try to alleviate her worries and dissatisfaction. Yet, I felt frustrated that this was all I could do. As various emotions swirled inside me, the chime of my room rang. I've turned breakfast into a lunchbox for you. Please eat it if you have time. Uenagi-kun, are you a god? You're too thoughtful. Thank you for everything. Tenjo-san was trembling with emotion. The way she treated the package containing the lunchbox as if it were a treasure chest was somehow amusing. You're exaggerating. I guess I really can't do without you, Uenagi-kun. Perhaps because she was in a hurry, Tenjo-san let slip something she wouldn't normally say. Words spoken in a moment without the luxury of pretense or adornment are likely the truth. I felt so happy I wanted to jump for joy. I feel the same way. I'd be lost without you, Tenjo-san. Tenjo-san blushed shyly and fidgeted. Come on, you'll be late. Have a good day. Yeah, I'm off. I watched her until she disappeared around the corner. Tenjo Ryu-sensei, the cool and mature woman at school, is indeed beautiful and wonderful, but the Oni-san next door is irresistibly cute. Her smile always shines like the sun into my heart. It can turn a cloudy mood into a clear sky in an instant. Section. I had felt some strange stares since meeting Akira at the station. People were looking at us intently and whispering. I thought Akira was attracting attention again, but this morning it seemed like I was also being checked out. We don't need to stop by the convenience store today. Let's hurry up and go. Urged by Akira's insistent tone, we headed straight to school. The feeling of being watched grew stronger around the entrance. Do we look weird or something? If anything, your hair, Nishiki, has grown too long. I've been too busy lately to get it cut. My bangs had grown long enough to cover my eyes. After school on weekdays, I had chores like shopping and meal prep, and on weekends, I visited my parents more often. I had started a part-time job at a cafe during the summer break and continued it into the second term, so haircuts had been put off. Isn't it annoying to have it in your eyes? Girls think guys with bangs over their eyes are more handsome. I joked casually. For male idols, bangs are everything. Even band members look cool on stage with their eyes hidden by long hair. I'm just following precedent, let's leave it at that. That's a sneaky technique used by guys without confidence, aiming for the atmosphere handsome look. Akira's comments were merciless. Besides, Nishiki, you don't need to hide behind an atmosphere. Do you think I'm not bad-looking, Akira? Why'd you go silent all of a sudden? No, I can't possibly speak honestly with you right in front of me. Akira turned her face away exaggeratedly. Did you just subtly call me ugly? You should show your face more, Nishiki. Do you prefer a neat hairstyle, Akira? It's better to have a clean look. I'm not a cheap girl who can be fooled by nuance. Making enemies with your comments again, I see. This is the school staircase. Anyone could be listening. Anyway, your current unkempt look doesn't suit you. At least tie it back with a rubber band. Like I'd have one. Unless a guy is intentionally growing his hair out, he wouldn't have a hair tie. Here. Akira took off the hair tie she was wearing on her wrist and handed it to me. What am I supposed to do with this? Then I'll tie it for you. Akira stood in front of me. Hi. She grabbed my bangs and tied them up like the tentacles of an anglerfish. Oh, my field of vision seems wider and brighter. It's kind of sloppy. What other ways are there to tie up bangs? Girls are usually more knowledgeable about that kind of thing. Just be grateful I did it for you. Yeah. I'll give it back when I'm done. Keep it. Really? I can't use it after you've worn it. Treating me like a germ, huh? If I really thought that, I'd be spraying alcohol everywhere right now. Don't charge me for this later. I won't. Just be thankful for the hair tie. Then I won't hold back. As I walked, my bangs bounced playfully. And the moment we arrived in the classroom, we were greeted with a surprise celebration. Crackers popped from all around, and we were showered with cheerful congratulations. Unable to keep up with everyone's excitement, we both froze in the middle of the classroom. What's going on? I have no idea. Neither Akira nor I could grasp the situation. How did we become an officially recognized couple in the class overnight? Of course, I knew Tenjo-sensei wouldn't spread such a thing. Looking at Akira, she seemed clueless too. That left only one person who could have spread the rumor. Congrats, Akiaki and Nikki, you guys are seriously a perfect couple. As Mayuzumi-san shouted conspicuously with a loud voice, blessings flew back and forth from the classmates. In the midst of this festival-like commotion, only the parties involved were left behind. Nishiki, I'm entrusting Kyuhun-san to you. Make her happy, okay? The boy who suddenly placed his hand on my shoulder was from the class next door, the one who got rejected by Akira yesterday. No, we barely know each other, and yet he's being overly familiar. Moreover, it's clear that the number of onlookers from other classes is increasing, and the capacity of Class 2C's classroom is being exceeded. There are way too many people gathering. Amidst the noise, Tenjo-sensei arrives for the morning homeroom. What on earth is all this commotion about? Hey, Tenjo-sensei, did you hear? Kyuhun-san and Nishiki-kun have started dating. At the classmates' report, Tenjo-sensei was at a loss for words. She's clearly taken a mental hit, but that's probably the sense of responsibility of a working adult. Tenjo-sensei quickly composed herself and devoted herself to behaving as a teacher. It's quite something that I can perceive such subtle changes. Not to brag, but I'm second to none when it comes to Tenjo Ryu. All students from other classes, please return to your own classrooms. Take your seats, we're starting homeroom. With a single command from Tenjo Sensei, the classroom's uproar settled down in an instant. Feeling the curious gazes on my back, I finally took my seat. The expression on Sensei standing before me was somewhat stern. She's not able to keep up with the rapid developments that have occurred since yesterday. The changes are happening too fast. Nishiki-kun, what's with that hair tie? I borrowed it from Akira. There was no ulterior motive, but somehow my answer felt guilty. I see. Sensei's reaction was somewhat deep. I immediately removed the hair tie from my bangs. Section. As soon as lunchtime arrived, I intended to confirm the situation with Mayuzumi-san. But before that could happen, I was surrounded by female classmates as if they had been waiting for me. Nikki, tell us the detailed story of how you and Akiaki got together. Mayuzumi-san beat me to the punch. Well, I haven't bought lunch yet, so now's not really a good time. I tried to decline gently. Don't worry, we'll share our bentos and snacks with you. For the love-starved high school girls, the birth of a nearby couple was the best news. Come on, sit next to Kyuhun-san. There. Akira was already secured. The classmates, both boys and girls eager to hear the story, surrounded Akira's seat with their bentos spread out, waiting. Akira's eyes, looking at me, seemed to plead for help. It seems I have no choice but to give up. I was escorted to the window side and made to sit in front of Akira's seat. In celebration of the wonderful couple's birth in Class 2C, let's have a press conference, declared Mayuzumi-san, acting as if she was hearing the news for the first time like everyone else. As an accomplice, Mayuzumi Ririka was essentially a planted audience member. Even if our relationship was a pretense, she pretended not to know and tried to naturally spread the information with her spontaneous actions and words. Of course, I hadn't asked her to set anything up. Regardless of our intentions as the parties involved, the situation changed moment by moment due to her voluntary actions and words. Seriously, she's managed to perfectly seal all exits, trapping us completely. The anxiety of not being able to control the situation is probably the same for Akira. Akira, sitting next to me, was unusually quiet. You're unusually quiet. Aren't you going to run away forcefully like you usually do? I can't do anything careless that would trouble Nishiki. She can be surprisingly docile. Her usual prickliness was subdued. Here, then let's have the promised lunch. A group of girls offered me their lunch. No need. The one who refused was none other than Akira. I mean, I'll have a hard time in the afternoon classes without lunch. I, who believes in accepting what's offered, wanted to gratefully partake in the meal. Then you don't have to worry. Why? I made bentos. Akira shyly took out 2 bento boxes from her bag. I was genuinely surprised by the unexpected gesture. It seemed Mayuzumi-san didn't know either, indicating it was Akira's own initiative. When I opened the bento box lid, there was white rice with a main dish of sweet and savory meat-trapped vegetables and various side dishes adding color. It was a menu that was satisfying for a boy to eat while also being thoughtfully balanced nutritionally. Moreover, it was beautifully arranged in the bento box. Did you make all this by yourself, Akira? Of course. There's not enough time in the morning, right? I just threw it together. I didn't know Akira could cook. When I was in club activities, I used to think about nutrition for building my body, and when my parents were late from work, I'd prepare and eat by myself. Akiaki, you're like the perfect girlfriend. Mayuzumi-san exclaimed excitedly. Is Kyuhun-san actually the devoted type? It's unfair how she's not only beautiful, but also homely. Way too strong. At this rate, Nishiki-kun's heart won't be the only thing captured, but his stomach too. I sense a good wife and wise mother. Gap moe. Wow, even though she's usually so aloof, she's all affectionate with the one she likes. What a treat to witness. Kyuhun-san, you're so cute. This is just too youthful. I'm jealous. Why Nishiki of all people? I want a girlfriend too. Lucky him, getting to eat her home cooking. Let me have a taste. All right, that's not okay. Akira silenced the last remark with a sharp glance. Regardless, the classmates were feeling good about this new side of Akira they were seeing. Nishiki, go ahead and eat. Then itadakimasu. I immediately took a bite of the meat roll. The sweet and spicy seasoning stimulated my appetite, and the fat from the meat, along with the crunch of the vegetables, made for a perfect accent. The size of the ingredients was uniform, and the balance of the seasoning was exquisite. This was the work of someone who used to cook. Yeah, it's delicious. That's good. Akira visibly relaxed. Were you that nervous? Nishiki is used to cooking, so the bar was set high. It's delicious enough that no follow-up is needed. You should be confident. Thank you. From there, it turned into a friendly Q&A session over the meal. Most questions were directed at Akira, but she answered them smoothly, as if she had prepared the answers in advance, without hesitation or murkiness. Did you fall for the face? Or the personality? Both. What made you aware of Nishiki-kun? He was concerned about me being late. What do you like about Nishiki-kun? He's easy to talk to. Was it a coincidence that you commuted to school together every morning? Nishiki was waiting for me. How often do you contact each other? Every day. Why did you start dating at this timing? Because other people's confessions were annoying. Who confessed? I did. Who takes the lead? I do. Her responses were as curt and unfriendly as ever. However, unlike before, her responses were received positively as being shy and fresh. Her answers were impressively crafted just within the bounds of truth without lying. All of this was news to me. It seemed like everyone was now aware that Kyuhu and Akira was just another high school sophomore like them. Each answer was met with lively, supportive reactions from the class. Do you go on dates often? I believe you should respect our private lives, so. Her evasion sounded almost like we were meeting on weekends. Then, are you planning a school festival date? That's up to Ririka to arrange. For some reason, Mayuzumi-san answered before Akira. Ririka, I'm counting on you. For a kiyaki, I'd strip 1 or 2 layers. Mayuzumi-san's enthusiasm was somewhat frightening. Then, on the contrary, is there anything you'd want Nishiki-kun to improve? He's too kind. Akira answered with a serious face. I was confused by the interpretation. It sounded like a compliment, but also like a criticism. However, the classmates took it positively and cheered on. Why is it that Nishiki-kun is on a first-name basis, but Kyuhu-san still calls him by his last name? Akira's smooth responses suddenly halted. Kyuhu-san, I'm not used to it. Akira's cheeks flushed quickly. Is that the reason I've been called by my last name all this time? I thought it was because she didn't want to get too friendly without necessity. At her reaction, the gathered classmates let out their biggest teasing cheer of the day. In this manner, the news that Nishiki Uenagi and Kyuhu and Akira were dating spread throughout the school in a generally positive light. The initial goal of reducing confessions to Akira was almost achieved. I'm better than him. Some confident ones emerged, but the excuse of already having a lover was extremely effective. The lukewarm gaze of our classmates seemed to play a part in keeping those targeting Akira at bay. Akira's girlfriend act was thorough. While there were no blatant body touches, she naturally came to my side. We were together in the classroom and during breaks, reinforcing the impression of a class-approved couple. As we spent more time together, Akira's reactions softened. Her hypersensitive and aggressive responses decreased, and the thorns in her words began to fall away. Interestingly, as Akira became more approachable, the classmates started to engage with her more frequently. Akira, too, began to laugh at trivial topics and enjoyed the back and forth of conversation. I watched with interest as Akira integrated into the social circle. Preparations for the cultural festival also progressed steadily. Mayuzumi-san, who had become the class leader, directed the preparations with precision, focusing on those who were free after school to help with the decorations. As members of the Going Home Club, Akira and I stayed behind to help, and thanks to Mayuzumi-san's deliberate arrangements, we often ended up working together. Akira didn't refuse, and I accepted it. Everything was moving along smoothly, except perhaps for Tenjo-sensei. Contrary to our relationship at school, Tenjo-san's behavior at the apartment had clearly changed. Uenagi-kun, I made a lot of beef stew, so here's a little gift for you. Please enjoy. It was a Saturday evening holiday when she suddenly came over with a pot in hand. Ah, thank you very much. I've been simmering it since last night, so it's really delicious. You went through such a time-consuming cooking process. You also seem to be doing a major cleaning during the day. Throughout the day, I intermittently heard the vacuum cleaner from next door. Yes, I wanted to thoroughly clean the places that were bothering me. Strike while the iron is hot. I even made progress in decluttering, getting rid of old clothes I don't wear anymore. Having space in the closet feels like having room to breathe in your heart. And it feels good to have shiny, clean water areas too. Her eyes were fervent as she explained, "Wow, that's amazing. Isn't that taking on too much at once?" She's incredibly active. She works during the weekdays, so I wish she would rest properly on her days off. It's like I'm on a self-powered quest to raise my QOL. Farewell to my sloppy lifestyle. I've realized how much I've been taking advantage of Uenagi-kun's kindness. I'm sorry for everything until now. Quality of life. Tenjo-san was unnervingly high-spirited. Of course, I had an inkling why. Ever since I started playing the role of Akira's boyfriend, she would leave my room without lingering after meals each day. It's not unusual for her to leave early in the morning for staff meetings and such. But it was new for her to return to her room immediately after dinner without even having tea, which had never happened before. Could it be that you're doing all this housework as a way to relieve stress? The moment I pointed that out, Tenjo-san's smile froze. Bullseye. Immersing herself in work could serve as an escape from reality, and housework, with its visible results, easily provided a sense of accomplishment. Well, anyway, I still have cleaning left to do. Oh, and don't worry about returning the pot anytime. Tenjo-san abruptly ended the conversation and returned to her room. At first glance, it seemed healthy, but it was still off. It was the opposite of losing motivation or appetite in a noticeable way. She was forcibly elevating her mood and becoming excessively active. It's a dark Ryu. She wasn't angry or crying. She was just putting on a brave front. She was intentionally avoiding spending time alone with me, fearing a slip of the tongue. Her smile, usually as bright as the sun, now seemed as dark as a solar eclipse. The light that should be there was blocked, casting a dark shadow. Every day in the classroom, seeing me treated as another girl's boyfriend was mentally taxing. Yet, Tenjo Ryu never forgot her role as a teacher at school. I respect her integrity, and I feel guilty for being a part of such a foolish act. Unnoticed, it felt as if the tide was coming in, and I was starting to feel suffocated. I realized I was only standing on my tiptoes, and there was a sense of impending danger that I might drown. These small accumulations could lead to the collapse of our relationship. What awaits us at the end of this path is, "No, this can't go on. This isn't good." I called for help. Section, "So Yu-kun is asking me for help. You have your cute moments, don't you?" Sorry about this. The next day, Sunday evening, I had invited my stepsister, Nishiki Kaguya, over for dinner. I thought that having a meal with the three of us, including Kaguya, might help Tenjo-san change her mood. While standing together in our kitchen, I explained the awkward situation to our neighbor. "It's not like apologizing to me will fix Rei-chan's mood. I know, but I'm stuck when I'm on my own. It's disappointing to be invited by Yu-kun, only to be made to listen to confessions about another woman. Such a cute girl came over to play, you know." Kaguya's gaze was sharp. "I'm grateful you could come on such short notice." "You're welcome. I'd come to see Yu-kun anytime." Seeing Kaguya's carefree smile lightened my mood a bit. Who would have thought I'd feel relieved talking to you? Using your stepsister as a convenient way to relieve yourself, huh? I'm not that kind of a convenient girl. But you came anyway. Because Yu-kun is special. I'll take that as a sign of trust. Show a little more gratitude to such a devoted sister. I'm treating you to dinner, isn't that enough? Not enough. Kaguya said, wrapping her arms around me. Hey, it's dangerous when I'm using a knife. It's fine when it's just the two of us. Show some restraint, we're siblings. It's okay. I know that boys always have naughty things on their minds. Even if you know, don't expose it. And you're the exception. I like being treated as special. Kaguya tilted her head cutely. She's so cunning. It's concerning even to think of her as a family member. I can only hope she doesn't misuse it. Or does Yu-kun want to keep things formal with me? Rather, I'm surprised a sister in her teens doesn't hate her brother. The ones I love are different. That's family love. Yes. Kaguya was in an exceptionally good mood. Up until 6 months ago, I had been struggling with the distance between my family and me. Kaguya, who became my family through my parents' remarriage, was aware of me as a member of the opposite sex despite being my stepsister. This made me feel uncomfortable at home, so I used the excuse of starting high school to begin living alone. Since then, there had been a long period when it was difficult to return home. But thanks to Tenjo-san, we were finally able to become ordinary siblings. It was clear that Kaguya felt gratitude and a sense of obligation towards Tenjo-san, given how fondly she acted towards her. That's why she responded so quickly to today's sudden call. "Yu-kun, do you have any idea why Rei-chan might be in a bad mood?" To Kaguya, I've explained that Tenjo-san and I are merely neighbors. To keep the teacher-student relationship from being discovered by Kaguya, Tenjo-san has been using the alias Tomi Rei. Well, to put it simply, I've been playing the role of a boyfriend for a girl at school. What's that? I didn't hear about this. Kaguya suddenly snapped. It's just a pretense. That's not the point. Of course Rei-chan would be mad. I thought she had dumped you. We're not even dating. Oh, right. There are all sorts of issues with a homeroom teacher and a student, huh? That's right. Wait, what did you just say? I stopped cooking and faced Kaguya. That's why you used the fake name Tomi Rei, so I wouldn't find out, right? Or am I wrong? I couldn't believe my ears. Kaguya's words made me feel as though my heart had stopped. Wait, Kaguya. How much do you know? Rei-chan's real name is Tenjo Ryu, and Rei-chan is your high school teacher, right? How did you find out Tenjo-san's name and my relationship with her? Despite the cool autumn weather, I felt an unpleasant sweat on my back. Kaguya explained with an excited expression. The first time I stayed at the apartment, I borrowed the bath in Rei-chan's room. I saw the name on the direct mail there. Since that long ago, that was almost immediately after Kaguya and Tenjo-san met. Don't just randomly look at other people's mail. It was by chance. I thought it was strange that the name was Tenjo Ryu, and when I checked the room, there were envelopes from Yu-kun's high school too. So you were searching after all. Well, it's suspicious when an adult uses a fake name. I was worried you might be getting scammed. It could have been a honey trap. She said something so serious with a straight face. Where do you learn such terms? You're in middle school. Anyone living alone in high school has some kind of issue, right? To bad people, that's like an easy target. What benefit would such a beautiful person have from deceiving me? It's impossible. I firmly denied it for Tenjo-san's honor. However, if I were in Kaguya's shoes, I would be just as cautious. It's natural to be suspicious if a neighbor who is close to your family boldly uses a fake name. I understand that. Rei-chan is a good person, and I like her too. I thought I had kept it hidden, but it was obvious from the start, and instead, I was the one being lied to. A woman in love tells lies. My stepsister said it nonchalantly, with a full smile. I was defeated. She was much more skilled than I was. After dinner was ready, Tenjo-san came to my room, and when I told her that Kaguya knew everything, she was just as surprised as I was. Interlude 3, Cheer. Rei-chan, I suddenly want dessert. Let's go to the convenience store together. After the three of us had dinner made by Uenagi-kun, Kaguya-chan, and I stepped outside. I never thought Kaguya-chan would figure everything out. I'm sorry. I kept quiet too, so we're even. If anything, I should apologize for something else. As we walked down the night street, Kaguya-chan, leading the way, looked back. Something else. I accepted it because it's you, Rei-chan. I don't intend to lose to any other girl. She says scary things with such a cute face. The one who asked Yu-kun to play the boyfriend was probably a classmate I met during Golden Week, right? Sharp. She's seen through it all after just one meeting. You can tell, huh? I want to check for nuisances early on. But it's just an act of playing the boyfriend role, only until the cultural festival. Do you think you can endure it until then, Rei-chan? Being forced to view my own weakness objectively, the pain in my heart that I had been ignoring starts to throb. I'm an adult and a sensei. And jealousy, aren't you angry? Aren't you the only one who thinks it's just an act? Hi. It's just a possibility. But if it's a classmate, Yu-kun wouldn't need to endure like he does now, and what's meant to be pretend could turn into something real. My best friend said something similar. Of course, I understand. At their age, it's normal to date classmates. He can love openly without hiding anything. When that time comes, it comes. You're very understanding. She said, not hiding her disappointment. It's a relationship that's so forced even Kaguya-chan could see through it. If you're that pessimistic, it will end up that way. Kaguya-chan starts walking again as if she's made up her mind. Well, it might be convenient for me. I don't feel like losing to anyone but Rei-chan. Will your family relations become awkward again? It doesn't matter. I just need to work towards making myself and the person I like the happiest. The girl, nearly a decade younger than me, declared with blinding confidence. It might be the momentum of youth. Like the moon floating in the night sky, her figure was vividly clear. Being shown something I can't do right now, I also got carried away. They say first loves never come true. I blurted it out and immediately regretted it. You finally spoke your true feelings. Before I could apologize, Kaguya-chan suddenly brought her face close. But there's no rule saying you can't keep going after your first love, right? After all, Yu-kun can't escape from me. So, I'll just keep going until I get bored or Yu-kun gives in. Rules, that's right. There's no such rule. Unconsciously, I had been using it as an excuse for not being proactive. Laws, social norms, public opinion, neighbor agreement. There are rules to be followed, but I had never questioned the act of following them. Anyway, Yu-kun won't be able to forget Rei-chan. He won't be satisfied with any other girl, so I'll be the convenient escape for him. I'll pamper him and make him so dependent that he can't be without me. The girl layered her words like a little devil, with an angelic smile. Kaguya-chan is effortlessly determined not to let go of her first love. Even from a woman's perspective, she's an attractive girl. If a boy is treated kindly by such a girl nearby, he'd be smitten in no time. I think it's amazing that Uenagi-kun has managed to live under the same roof without being swayed by his male instincts, never giving up on being a brother. Ah, that's what it means. Such a girl acknowledges me. If Rei-chan gives up on Yu-kun, I'll take him without hesitation, so don't worry. It's a second declaration of war and perhaps Kaguya-chan's way of cheering me on. It's advice from a future sister-in-law. I'll remember it well. I also dared to declare it outright. I hope it turns out that way, she smiled. Chapter 4, To Continue or Not. With less than a week until the cultural festival, the preparations under the leadership of Mayuzumi-san were proceeding flawlessly. The food supplies and necessary equipment were all arranged. Today, the girls' uniforms, which were maid outfits, along with various animal-themed headbands, had arrived, prompting an immediate fitting session. Everyone changed into their outfits, pairing them with their favorite animal headbands, and took turns capturing their looks in photos. The excitement was as if the main event had already begun. Wow, Kyuhyun-san, you look great in the maid outfit. Your legs are so long. Ririka-chan is so cute. You could totally work at a real maid cafe. While all the girls looked adorable, Kyuhyun Akira and Mayuzumi Ririka, in particular, garnered ecstatic cheers from the others. Akira, blushing with embarrassment, was held in place by Mayuzumi-san as her photo was taken. Beside the lively fitting session for the girls, the boys were hard at work on the interior decorations. The interior concept for the Animal Maid Cafe was dreamy. They created signs and walls that doubled as screens, using a palette of soft pastel colors. The art club members, responsible for the illustrations, painted cute patterns and cartoonish animal sketches. Their artistic flair resulted in eye-catching and beautifully finished decorations. In addition, brightly colored bird toys and stuffed animals were brought into the classroom one after another, transforming the second-year Class C room into a dreamy, fancy space day by day. I, too, carefully added color to the sketches, making sure not to detract from their charm. Hey, Nishiki, what's it really like dating Kyuhyun-san? The boys working alongside me asked. To be honest, I was pretty shocked because I liked Kyuhyun-san too. I get it, I've been interested in her since my track and field days. Even guys from the sports teams, who I don't usually talk to much, joined in the conversation. Each time I heard such talk, I was reminded of how popular Akira truly was. What's it like? Well, it's just as you see in the classroom. I could only answer vaguely. They seemed to take my nonchalant response as a sign of a winner's composure, and they got excited on their own. Nishiki, you've got such a cute girl as your girlfriend, you could be more excited. And pass on the secret of snagging a beauty to us. They pleaded with earnest eyes. Wait, I heard that Kyuhyun-san was the one who confessed to you. That must be because of the muscles you've honed as fellow athletes, drawn to each other's physical strength, said one of the baseball team members, flexing his biceps. Oh, so macho. If you were interested, you should have talked to Akira sooner. Then I wouldn't have had to play the role of her boyfriend. They exchanged glances and made grim faces. Nishiki, are you serious? Huh, did I say something weird? I asked, puzzled, and they beckoned me over with a gesture, huddling close as if forming a circle. Listen, Nishiki. When you're next to Kyuhuin-san, she's always on high alert. Just crossing paths with you two gets us a glare, so it's not easy to approach casually. This was news to me. From other people's perspectives, Akira and I were seen in such a light. Akira's intense gaze is just part of who she is. For her sake, I'll deny it. Kyuhuin Akira is a strong-willed, beautiful girl, and her presence alone is intimidating. Her sharp, large, almond-shaped eyes might feel like a glare to some, and it's undeniable that she's often misunderstood as being in a bad mood by those around her. But everyone shook their heads. She's like a mother cat protecting her kitten. More like a tiger. Exactly. The tiger analogy was apt. The image of a large feline indeed fit Kyuhuin Akira's impression perfectly. I don't have many friends either, so maybe that's why I seem to be with Akira all the time. No, it's probably the other way around. Kyuhuin-san keeps others at bay, so especially the girls have been reluctant to talk to you, Nishiki. No way, you're overthinking it. If that were the case, why would I have so few male friends too? Nishiki, doesn't it make you sad to say that? I was met with sympathetic looks. Yeah, a little. Have I been unknowingly disliked by everyone? I felt like crying as I said it. On the contrary, we're dying of envy. And Nishiki, you're often approached by popular girls like Kyuhuin-san and Mayuzumi-san. Why is that? It's just a coincidence. Those coincidences have added up, and now you're conveniently dating Kyuhuin-san. It was a cry from the heart, representing all the boys. Regardless of the truth, Mayuzumi-san's strategy had been a resounding success. Triggered by that comment, the boys' true feelings began to spill out. Why did Kyuhuin-san choose such a laid-back guy? Is it his face? Does she like his face? He's not even the super funny type. He doesn't stand out in class for anything special. His athletic ability is neither here nor there. Wasn't he near the top of the class in grades? There's a weird charm about Nishiki-kun that girls fall for. I can see it. If anything, Nishiki-kun is kind of a loner, so maybe that's why he clicked with the solitary Kyuhuin-san. Among the comments, there was one I couldn't ignore. Wait a minute. Is that really how I'm perceived? Nishiki, you didn't realize. My apparent obliviousness somewhat put them off. Yeah. Frankly, weren't you lonely being a loner? I was left pondering. Why hadn't I been particularly troubled by the fact that I hadn't built any significant friendships? I'm not particularly good at socializing in large groups. Moreover, there was a promise with my biological father that if I kept my grades up while living alone, he would support me financially. I had to do household chores when I got home, so there was no time to hang out with friends after school. That's why I had resigned myself to treating school purely as a place for study from the beginning. I would talk to my classmates during lessons or when necessary, but it was always strictly business. I certainly didn't have anyone to chat with just to kill time. However, I feel like I talked a bit more with those around me last year. So why am I okay with it this year? The answer is clear. I think about my seat in the front row and the woman who always stands before me. This year, I've been looking at Tenjo Ryu all the time. Just having her in my sight made me happy. I didn't care about anything else. My head was filled with thoughts of her, and I couldn't see my own situation objectively. I was happy and felt saved just by the world in front of my eyes. This tendency only intensified after becoming involved with Sensei. Damn it, I'm such a hopeless romantic. Nishiki Uenagi is too in love with Tenjo Ryu. Like a sucker punch, I was forced to acknowledge what I already knew. I'm scarily smitten with her, even by my own standards. I realized another side of myself that I didn't know. Nishiki, did you say something? Your face is red. No, just realizing that talking to people can lead to new discoveries. I felt it deeply. How troublesome it is to accurately grasp one's feelings and articulate them in words. Come on, boys, you've stopped working. If you don't hurry up, the wonderful dream space won't be completed. Mayuzumi-san and Akira, both in maid outfits, had arrived. The other boys let out sounds of admiration at the sight of them. Nikki, help Akiaki choose a headband. Mayuzumi-san, with cat ears attached, spread out a bag filled with various types of animal ear headbands. Meh. If you pick something weird, I'll knock you out. Akira warned with a pointed look. Even without being told, I didn't have the courage to choose something joke-like. I looked into the bag and made my choice without hesitation. Then tiger. At my response, the boys around burst into laughter. Unaware of the earlier conversation, Akira and Mayuzumi-san were puzzled by their reaction. Just try it on. Prompted by me, Akira put on the yellow and black tiger ear headband. How is it? It suits you very well, Akira. I voiced my honest impression, and she blushed, her expression blossoming. After seeing her reaction, the boys secretly conveyed a mysterious surrender, saying, "We could never make her show such an expression even in 100 years. It looks like you've made good progress. That's enough for today's work. Clean up quickly and go home." As the time to leave school approached, Tenjo-sensei came to check on the classroom. "Ryu-chan sensei, we've been waiting for you. Please accept this." Representing the remaining students, Mayuzumi-san handed Tenjo-sensei a wrapped bag. "Hey, what's this?" "Just open it, please." Inside the present was a class parka. For 2C, the color was a bright sky blue. On the front was a stylishly designed logo of the Animal Maid Cafe. On the back were the names of all the classmates printed in seating order, and at the very top, the name of the homeroom teacher. Ah, you even included my name. Thank you, everyone. Ryu-chan sensei, we're always in your care, so this is a token of our gratitude. Tenjo-sensei seemed deeply moved, looking over everyone with a sentimental gaze. "Sensei, if you have time on the day, you're welcome to join us not as a guest, but as a maid." "No, that would be too much." She declined gently, looking troubled. "Ah, we want to see Sensei in a maid outfit." Calls of eager anticipation rose from all around. Of course, I was one of them. I want to see it too. I raised my voice quietly, blending in, only to be promptly stepped on by Akira next to me. "Ouch, what was that for all of a sudden? Something about you just irritated me." "It's just a joke. Right now, you're supposed to be playing the boyfriend role, so cut out that annoying act." She reprimanded me in a whisper close to my ear. So Akira getting angry is also part of her girlfriend-like behavior. Perhaps. What's with that response? I didn't understand why she was being deliberately vague. "Nishiki, you should just be excited about seeing me in a maid outfit." Doing that in the classroom would seriously affect the rest of my high school life. I'd prefer not to be labeled as a pervert and subjected to harsh looks. What about outside the classroom? Wouldn't it be creepy if I came at you breathing heavily through my nose? It depends on the situation and attitude. So it's acceptable under certain conditions. If we were dating, then maybe that kind of thing could happen. It's a phrase that's very difficult to respond to. I wonder how to interpret it in a way that causes the least damage. Messing with a maid is definitely a no-go. There are forbidden loves that are excused if they're born from deep admiration for one's master. Specifying such a scenario in a play is too difficult for me. It's already tough enough playing the role of a boyfriend, let alone the embarrassment that makes me want to snap back to reality. Isn't it similar to what we're doing now? That's only until the cultural festival is over. Are you okay with that, Nishiki? It seems like a hassle to spread the word that we've broken up. Yeah, thinking about what comes after is depressing. The relationship between Nishiki Uenagi and Kyuhuen Akira in the classroom had become so established that it could no longer return to how it was before. So, you're saying we won't continue even after the cultural festival is over? I caught my breath. The buzz of the classroom felt distant for a moment. Then, I slowly turned to face the girl sitting next to me. "Akira, what you just said." I tried to confirm the meaning of her words, but before Akira's lips could move, another voice interrupted. "All right, let's have a pep rally to cheer everyone up. Anyone who's free after this, let's go eat. We need to build up our energy for the main event." At Mayuzumi-san's command, everyone remaining in the classroom raised their voices in agreement. "Ririka, I want to eat okonomiyaki or manjiyaki." Akira shouted her request, which was unusual for her, and the whole classroom's energy rose in response. Akiaki's suggestion is accepted. It's fun to go somewhere other than a family restaurant once in a while. Decided by Mayuzumi-san's authoritative voice, everyone started to pack their belongings to move to the restaurant. "Nishiki, you're coming too, right? You're not a loner anymore. We're friends. And to the boys, you're a beacon of hope. We'll hail you as a love guru." No, I was going to make dinner. I intended to refuse, but I was forcibly taken away, sandwiched by arms from the sports clubs on either side. Don't even think about saying something cold like going home now. Ah, the festival's excitement is terrifying. I almost sought help from Sensei, but she was surrounded by other students and didn't notice my gaze. Everyone, don't stay out too late. And don't make a fuss at the restaurant, don't bother other customers. Also, be careful not to get into any accidents or get hurt. Got it? Yes, replied the members of Class 2C cheerfully. Section, at an okonomiyaki restaurant a few stations away from school, the Class 2C pep rally was held. It was a large group, half the class, but we managed to squeeze into the vacant tatami seats. The tables naturally split into groups of boys and girls, so I couldn't find a moment to talk to Akira. Whenever I checked on Akira, I was teased with comments like, "Oi, do you want to be with your girlfriend? This isn't a date, you know." Before that, a table of hungry boys was a merciless battlefield. Anything cooked on the hot plate was devoured in an instant, and if you weren't careful, you'd never get full. Hey, that's what I was cooking. You're eating too much by yourself. It's undercooked. You burned it, idiot. Don't use your own chopsticks. I can't use this spatula properly. Can we get another order, please? If you got distracted, you'd miss out on eating. Realizing this, I gave up and focused on my meal. I wasn't used to eating with such a large, noisy group, so it felt fresh. Finally, when things settled down, I stood up to go to the bathroom. When I returned, my seat had been taken by someone else, so I stepped outside the restaurant. Touching the outside air, I realized that the smell of okonomiyaki had completely permeated my body. Uenagi. Tenjo-san, I'm sorry about today. Have you had dinner? Because we ended up going out to eat with everyone, I couldn't do my turn for dinner duty. Sensei was in the classroom, so she understands the situation, but I couldn't contact you until now. I was reluctant to send a personal message to my homeroom teacher while surrounded by classmates. The reply came quickly. Ryu, there's some beef stew left over from before, so don't worry. Enjoy yourself without concern. Good, eh? Nikki, you were out here. Mayuzumi-san also came outside. Isn't it cold outside? The summer was so long, but autumn is flying by. Mayuzumi-san then stood beside me, contacting Akiaki. You don't have to worry. I'll make sure you two get some alone time later. No, it's from my stepsister. She's planning to take the entrance exams for our high school, so she said she's coming to the cultural festival. I quickly made up an excuse. Now that it was known that Tenjo-san was my homeroom teacher, there was no reason to refuse Kaguya's visit. She herself had said she definitely wanted to come during our meal the other day, so it seems she will show up on the day. That cute stepsister, huh? I wonder if she and Akiaki will end up fighting again when they meet. If that happens, I'm counting on Mayuzumi-san to mediate smoothly. Isn't that your job, Nikki? Do you think those two will listen to me? I don't know about your stepsister, but I think Akiaki is different now. After a smile, Mayuzumi-san turned to face me with a serious expression. Nikki, thank you. What for? For becoming my accomplice. It still feels like a heavy burden. It often makes my heart ache. It's just the two of us now, so I can speak my true feelings. Is that what you were talking about earlier, Nikki? The guilt you feel towards the person you like? Yeah. Are you officially in a relationship with that person? If you ask me if it's official, I might not be able to say for sure. Nikki, rather than straining yourself with a painful stretch, it's more enjoyable to notice the happiness that's close by. I wonder, being too close can also bring a lot of trouble. That's enough to deal with just with Kaguya's case. No, in reality, I'm not hardened. Ever since it was revealed that Sensei is my neighbor, these feelings of love began to take on a clear shape. Even if it's a relationship I can't talk about publicly, these invisible emotions definitely exist within me. Nikki, you're so cold. To neglect love, are you really a high school student? She speaks with a cunningness reminiscent of a certain politician. What's with that tone? I burst out laughing involuntarily. Come on, love is a compulsory subject of youth, and if you're not careful, you might fail. If that's what it means, then I might as well say I've skipped a grade. I'm always desperate to pass. Because I'm serious, I can't just settle for anything. If I get distracted, the possibility is cut off. I don't understand the passing criteria. Ririka doesn't understand either. Actually, I have zero experience in love. She sticks out her tongue cutely with a teh. Really? Mayuzumi-san is cute, a good talker, and has a good vibe, so she should be able to charm anyone. Yeah, I don't understand the feeling of truly liking someone. That's why I want to watch and support everyone else's love. Maybe then Ririka will be able to fall in love. Mayuzumi-san's profile looked somewhat lonely. That's why Ririka wants to remain a spectator in the front row. She quickly returns to her usual smile and wraps it up with a light tone. Even though she watches others' romances from close by, she never becomes a participant herself. Don't you ever think about starting your own romance? Not at all. Her response was straightforward. I had always felt that Mayuzumi Ririka was the leading figure in youth events. She actively participates in events like the cultural festival, leading her class and involving everyone. When Akira was in trouble, she would forcefully solve it, calling herself an accomplice. And to think you made me play the boyfriend role, it's not fair. Akiaki is Ririka's Oshi, so it's special. Oshi, like the way fans use it for idols. The relationship between Kyuho and Akira and Mayuzumi Ririka had always been a mystery. Mayuzumi-san was unilaterally attached, and Akira seemed to respond with a sense of annoyance. I thought we were close enough friends to have casual conversations without reservations, but it seems slightly different. Yeah, Ririka has been supporting Akiaki since she was in the track and field club. She beams with pride about her long history as a fan, clearly someone who is passionate about her Oshi activities. Specifically, the moment I first saw her running, my heart was captured. Her running was powerful yet so beautiful, like a moving work of art. Since then, I often watched her after-school practices, and if there was a competition on a holiday, I'd go to the venue. Anyway, seeing her cross the finish line in first place was just too cool. Her eyes sparkled with excitement as she spoke with great enthusiasm. I can kind of imagine that. The slight smile on her face, even when she's sweating and giving her all without showing fatigue, is super cool. That's serious. She's checking quite detailed points. This is serious business. For Ririka, Akiaki is like a protagonist, so cool. Look. Mayuzumi-san pulls out her smartphone and shows me photos from a competition. Right, she was quite boyish in our first year. The minimal uniform that doesn't hinder running, a patch with her name for the competition on her chest. Suntanned skin, short, uncolored hair. A lean body specialized for running had a beautiful sharpness to it. Ah, indeed, Kyuho and Akira was like this until last year. And although she was never particularly friendly, she talked normally with her classmates. If something fun happened, she'd laugh, and she didn't emit a prickly air that pushed people away like he does now. In that sense, as someone who also supports Akiaki, I felt a secret kinship with you, Nikki. If Nikki didn't like Akiaki, you wouldn't be able to call her every morning without fail, right? Ah, so there's a way to see it as Oshi activities. Indeed, repeating the same thing every day seems simple, but it's quite difficult. Sorry, but I'm just a substitute for an alarm clock. I wish I could trade places with you for that honorable position. I want to exchange. I'd gladly give it up. I've been turned down many times already. Akira is the same as ever. I let out a wry smile. But thanks to Nikki, Akiaki has become closer with everyone in the class. Could it be that Mayuzumi-san's real goal was to break Akira out of her isolation? Mayuzumi-san nods. Ririka wants Akira-chan to regain her brilliance. Instead of calling her by her nickname as she usually does, she calls Akira by his given name. Brilliance. Like a re-debut in class. She's been distant from the other kids in the class since the second year started. I thought if they got to know the real Akiaki, they would come to like her. Akira isn't the type who enjoys chatting or hanging out in groups, right? I can understand the mentality of wanting to spread the word about things you like. However, I'm not sure if that's what Kyuho and Akira actually wants. But look, she came to the dinner party today. The old Akiaki would have definitely gone home early. Maybe it was just a coincidence. Even so, it's okay. Kyuho and Akira is a wonderful girl who hasn't fallen from grace, and Ririka is genuinely happy about that. That's why Ririka thinks of Nikki as a savior. Fallen from grace and savior are not expressions you usually hear among classmates. Otaku do like their exaggerated expressions. The fact that she quit the track team due to an injury was a big setback for Akiaki. Was she aiming to go pro? Kyo High School isn't particularly known for being strong in sports. Not exactly, but being forced to give up something you love can cause a lot of emotional damage. It's frustrating to end without even being able to challenge yourself, regardless of whether you win or lose after giving it your all. It's hard to come to terms with it. Mayuzumi-san spoke as if it were her own experience. Well, I totally get that. Even I felt like it was the end of the world when I was rejected by Tenjo-san after a beach drive date. No matter how much I rationalized it in my head, my emotions were raging like a storm. But because I acted without despairing, drifting, or giving up, we're still connected today. Ever since she retired, Akiaki seemed bored and irritated. Indeed, she's become a bit more amiable towards others now. The extent of her change was surprising. After quitting the club, I wanted her to cheer up, so I invited her out many times. But I guess I was too persistent and she got annoyed. As we moved into the second year after the spring break, her tardiness increased, and Ririka was really worried. If she had ended up repeating the year or dropping out, Ririka might have despaired. Long breaks tend to disrupt one's daily rhythm. It's hard to get back to normal once it's been disrupted. In Akira's case, the emotional damage she was carrying made it even more difficult. It's no wonder she didn't want to go to school and would snap at the teacher if she was forced to go and then got scolded. We're still teenagers. There were many things we couldn't simply resolve on our own. I see. So that's why Mayuzumi-san was treated coldly by Akira. When Akira and I were talking, Mayuzumi-san would come in, and it seemed like she was being a nuisance. That's right. You didn't get discouraged. You have to support your Oshi when you can. That's Ririka's motto. I don't want my talented and beautiful Oshi to stumble over something trivial. Even if I'm called a busybody, I'll support her. Ririka just wants Akiaki to be happy. That was Mayuzumi Ririka's wish for Kyuhu and Akira. That's some noble friendship. No, it's just one-sided love. As a fan, I don't expect anything in return. She pours out her big feelings, does what she can, and yet she doesn't lose her cool. Mayuzumi-san is aware and dedicated to support. That's why I'm really grateful to Nikki for helping Akiaki stop being late. Thank you. I'm honored to be praised by such a model fan. I decided to go along with Mayuzumi-san's vibe for once. Nikki, raise your hand. As I did as I was told, Mayuzumi-san gave me a high five. But I won't give up the title of top fan spot. She's steadfast. Because it's Nikki, I'll forgive you even if you become Akiaki's real boyfriend. Mayuzumi-san, isn't the revelation of your Oshis romance a huge blow to a fan? If the person themselves is happy, then it's okay. Mayuzumi-san's face was full of smiles. Section. Nishiki, walk me home. As the second-year Class C dinner party came to an end, we all started heading back to the station. In the midst of it all, I couldn't refuse when Akira asked me like that. Teased by everyone, I ended up having to take Akira home. I followed Akira through the quiet residential streets at her pace. The sensation of walking through an unfamiliar town was both fresh and a little scary. Thanks for accompanying me. No problem. It's dangerous for a girl to walk alone at night. Quite the gentleman. There was no way I could say no in that situation. Yeah, I knew that, and that's why I chose that timing. A deliberate offense, huh? Yes, as an apology, here's the usual. Akira pulled out a Chupa Chups from her bag and offered it to me. Today's dessert, then. I unwrapped it on the spot and popped it into my mouth. The artificial sweetness spread through my mouth. So, about what was said in the classroom. As I started to speak, Akira suddenly picked up her pace. Hey, Akira. Ignoring my call, she continued to stride ahead. Hey, this defeats the purpose of seeing you off. She was surprisingly fast, even though she was no longer in the track team. I had to speed up to a light jog to avoid losing sight of her. If you go that fast, the food's going to come back up. Running with a Chupa Chups in my mouth was tough. I started to feel a stitch in my side. Akira, aren't you pushing yourself too hard? Won't your injury hurt? I'm not pushing myself at all. Rather, it's impossible for me. I'm going to throw up, really going to throw up. Because it was all you can eat, and I got carried away by the momentum of those around me. I ended up eating way more than usual. The hearty dishes I had consumed were now violently shaking inside my stomach, threatening to burst out of my mouth. Just when I thought I was going to be sick, Akira suddenly stopped moving. Unable to kill my momentum, I bumped into Akira. What's with you, suddenly speeding up and stopping? Are you having fun messing with me? Akira turned around briskly. It's fun, super fun. It's been a while since I've had this much fun. I stared intently at Kyuhu and Akira, illuminated by the light of the vending machine. Her words seemed genuine. She truly seemed to be enjoying herself. There was not a trace of the sullenness she had in the classroom. Her face was the picture of fulfillment, completely free from boredom. How can you move around so much after eating? Sports clubs train so that you can exercise right after eating. Even the digestive functions are strengthened. That's a story from a year ago, right? Besides, aren't you supposed to be retired from injury? Are you sure you're okay? Surprisingly, yes. She said it nonchalantly. But I can't run like I used to. Starting at the signal and sprinting to finish first, that's impossible now. Don't use me for your experiments. But Nishiki, you endured and followed me. Why? Well, I am playing the role of your boyfriend after all. You're so conscientious. It's rare for Akira to ask me for something. Well, until the cultural festival, that is. Is Nishiki kind to all girls? If I were that philanthropic, I'd probably enjoy such a silly proposal to play the boyfriend role. Right, Ririka thinks of some strange things sometimes. It's all for your sake. My words carried a hint of mockery, and I replied with a bit more force. I know, I've been helped by Ririka in various ways, even when I didn't ask for it. I am grateful, but I can't give anything back. If you look like you're having fun, that's enough, Mayuzumi-san said. I recalled the conversation we had in front of the store earlier. Then help me have even more fun. What do you want this time? I asked back casually. I want to extend it. Not just playing the boyfriend, this time I want you to become my real boyfriend. Akira didn't look away from me. Her pride wouldn't allow it. With a bright red face and a serious expression, she conveyed that there was no lie in her words or feelings. In this dazzling spot amidst the dimly lit residential area, she voiced her new wish. As if deliberately showing me how serious she was. Akira, let me hear your answer after the cultural festival is over. You don't have to decide yet. Why? Caught off guard, I couldn't come up with a clever retort. I was that shaken. Because, as a man, it was honestly pleasing to be confessed to by a girl, especially by someone as beautiful as Kyuhuen Akira. If you quit the boyfriend role at this timing, it would be troublesome for me too. Just now, I was teased a lot by the people in class, right? Without a breakwater, the moment I become free, I might get confessions from boys I don't even like. So, you're saying now when you're heartbroken from a breakup, is there chance to confess? That's right. Men are stupid. And insensitive. That's why I had to say it myself. So an extension then. I told you at the pool. The minimum requirement for a lover is that it's someone I like, so I just chose for myself. If it wasn't you, Nishiki, I would never have agreed to Ririka's proposal. Her argument was too convincing. Everything was not a whim or coincidence, it was all going as Akira had wished. You're too flustered. Don't be so surprised. Honestly, I can't even taste the candy. Nishiki, it's because your stepsister is too beautiful, isn't it? Your standards for girls are too high, you have a discerning eye, you're spoiled. I couldn't deny it. Or rather, my mind wasn't working properly. Wait, what am I supposed to do seriously? I've been confessed to, and now I'm left hanging with the reply being unilaterally postponed. Isn't this getting more complicated? I wonder what would change Nishiki's mind. Akira frowned in puzzlement and crossed her arms. It's useless to say anything clumsy now. Then, I'll tell you something good. What is it? You think I'm bad at waking up in the morning, right? If I don't call you, you'll be late. I didn't want to go to school in the spring, but now it's different. What do you mean? The whole thing about me being bad at waking up early is a lie. I'm always up before Nishiki's morning calls. In fact, I'm waiting for the phone to ring. A lie? But you always sound sleepy over the phone. That's just an act, I guess you never noticed. Seriously, I've been fooled by Akira's act for over half a year. Then, there's no point in me calling. There is a point. It means I get to talk to you every morning, Nishiki. The shocking truth was revealed. The words Kaguya told me echoed in my mind. It seems that the saying, "A woman in love tells lies," is indeed true. When I asked you to play the boyfriend role, I said it would be the last morning call, right? That's how serious I am. Even teenage girls play games of love. It's only the boys who don't notice. Realizing my own immaturity sends shivers down my spine. My own leisurely and foolish behavior seems absurdly comical. Akira, who I thought was clumsy, turned out to be much more adept. Think it over and let me hear your answer to my confession. So, the morning calls end a step ahead. You don't have to call me from tomorrow. She was the only one who said what she wanted and looked relieved. Meanwhile, I, who had been confessed to on the way home after dropping off a classmate in the residential area at night, was left hanging, unable to settle things. It's unsettling. Akira suddenly turned her gaze to the side and noticed the presence of a vending machine that wasn't for drinks. "Hey, can you still buy from this?" Akira pointed excitedly. The vending machine standing next to the one for drinks was small and old-fashioned. It was selling rubbers. The contents were the same as those I'd seen in convenience stores and drugstores. Is this how they're sold? I could only say something safe out of confusion. Any topic was fine if it diverted from the confession. It was incredibly liberal in the past to have such things installed openly around town. There must have been a demand for it when convenience stores and drugstores weren't open late like they are now. The nighttime somehow always brings erotic thoughts to mind, and vending machines are convenient because you can buy without facing anyone. Huh, that's interesting. Oh, you can't use electronic money. Akira said, inserting coins. Hey, what are you doing? Just thought I'd try buying one. Why? Look, it worked. Check it out. Don't just casually hand out something like that in the middle of the street. Nobody's looking. I am right. But it's reassuring to have it just in case, right? What kind of worry is that? Here, I'll give it to you. Akira tried to place the small box containing the rubber into my hand, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. I twisted my body to escape Akira's overly aggressive behavior. I don't want it. Akira grabbed my arm. If we start dating, you can use this. Akira whispered, her face turning bright red. You hesitated just now. Nishiki, you pervert. It's natural for a guy. Akira forcefully shoved the small box into my bag. Hey, don't you dare throw it away. Don't force it on me. I couldn't help but raise my voice in the middle of the street. Because girls can't put it on. When it's used, it's a set thing between a man and a woman. It's not confirmed yet. Take it home even if you don't need it. You bought it yourself. My parents will misunderstand if they find it. Hide it well so you don't get caught. Or are you coming to my place now? My parents aren't coming home tonight. Are you crazy? Nishiki, you chicken. I have some decency. When you do it, make sure to wear it because I hate it otherwise. Akira seemed satisfied with my reaction and walked away. Aren't you going to let me walk you home? Planning to become a real wolf in sheep's clothing. I'll make sure to leave at your front door. It's close by, so I'm fine here. Good night. Kyuhu and Akira dropped a tremendous bombshell and left. My heart is still pounding wildly. What am I supposed to do now? After parting ways with Akira, I walked home with a restless feeling weighing on me. The complexity of a young man's heart. I wish I could just secretly throw it away in a trash can on the street and be done with it. But as a clear statement of intent, it's too powerful. Foolishly, I find myself excited at the mere chance of using it. If ever such a moment should come, I want to handle it smoothly. I don't want the mood to be killed just because I don't have a condom, nor do I want to show an uncool side of myself to my partner. But who would the partner be? There's no harm in being prepared. I tell myself in justification, and in the end, I bring it all the way home. I couldn't help but feel pathetic for not being able to throw away this piece of a man's heart. Interlude 4, Angel and Devil. Welcome back. Hearing the sound of a key unlocking the door next door, I popped my head out. I am back. Uenage-kun, who faced me, seemed more surprised than I had anticipated. You're quite late, was it that fun? It was just dinner with classmates. Sharing a meal is a shortcut to becoming friends. That's how it was with Tenjo-san and me. He seemed less energetic than usual. Uenage-kun, are you feeling under the weather? No, it's just, I ate too much okonomiyaki and my stomach is in pain. Are you okay? I can give you some stomach medicine if you need it. That's an exaggeration. I think I'll settle down if I rest a bit. Hey, can I come over for tea while you're resting? Now? Of course, if it's a bother, don't worry about it. It's not a bother, but won't Tenjo-san be up late too? I was thinking today that I haven't had enough time to talk with you. Okay. I'll take a quick shower. Can you wait a bit? I'm concerned about smelling like okonomiyaki. Okay, I'll make some tea and wait for you. Please do. While he was in the bathroom, I went into the kitchen to boil water. I prepared 2 mugs and put my favorite brand of tea leaves into the teapot. Once the water reached the appropriate temperature, I poured it in and let it steep for a while. The tea leaves danced inside the clear teapot, slowly spreading their color. the faint sound of the shower. I went in wearing a swimsuit when he was sick. At that time, I didn't think too deeply because I felt I had to take care of him. But now that I'm calm, I realize that, as he pointed out, I had been quite bold. It wasn't like I was naked with just a bath towel, and since I wear swimsuits almost daily, I didn't put the brakes on myself. After all, I'm used to seeing male students shirtless in club activities, so it didn't bother me, or so I misunderstood. However, once I knew his honest reaction to seeing me in a swimsuit, I couldn't help but be conscious of it. Nothing happened that time, but there was certainly a possibility of making a mistake depending on the situation. There have been many dangerous moments in the past. I've been pushed down on the bed, and there were times when we accidentally slept together until morning. When we were locked in the school's gym storage, I was expecting a kiss. There are too many moments when I can't control myself. How shameless I am. Am I lusting after him? Even though the angel of reason preaches earnestly above my head, the devil of instinct refuses to listen and is eager to rampage. Angel, you are a respectable adult. You are a teacher who guides students. Be modest. Devil, but humans are animals after all, and you're a woman of age, right? Angel, as a responsible member of society, you must not go any further. Devil, a woman who's jealous of a student now pretending to be dignified. Angel, be quiet. If you give up now, all your patience will be for naught. Devil, see, you are aware that you're holding back. Your body is honest, huh? Angel, those who drown in carnal desires will surely regret it. Devil, you're a virgin, so how can you be so sure? You want to be embraced too. Angel, I don't want to end up like my parents. Devil, if it's with someone you've sworn eternal love to, it's fine. You're going to have sex sooner or later anyway. Angel, impossible. If I accept it now, I won't be able to act as a sensei in the classroom. Devil, are you okay with him being stolen by a younger woman? Angel, that's why I believe in eternal love. Devil, it's much more effective to tie him down with your body, and you'll feel more secure too. Angel, thou shalt not break the neighbor agreement. Devil, you know he desires it too, don't you? Angel, I'm scared. If I cross that line and then get betrayed. Devil, then you can prove for yourself that there's no such thing as eternal love. Isn't that great? No, that's not good. I blurted out without thinking. Whoa, shoot, I was zoning out. Before I knew it, the tea had steeped too long, turning from a deep red to nearly black. What am I doing, thinking such things in someone else's house? I lifted the tea leaves, filled with self-loathing. The good tea must have turned bitter. Is something wrong? Don't tell me a G appeared. Gakiberry equals cockroach. Uenagi-kun, hearing my voice, rushed out from the bathroom. That word is forbidden. The unpleasant black intruder came to mind, and I closed my eyes tightly. When I opened them again, there he was, standing before me, shirtless and looking worried. Uenagi-kun hadn't put on clothes in his haste. I couldn't help but stare at him. The real thing was more ordinary than I imagined, but thinking about being touched by him made me nervous, and my heart raced. My body temperature rose. Tenjo-san, your loud voice startled me, but what's wrong? The angels and demons in my head are waging a final war, and they can't settle it. Yes. Of course, he looked bewildered. First things first, go put on some clothes. He's too much for my eyes right now, so I turn my back to him. Section. Is the tea too strong? If it's this much, you can just dilute it with some warmed milk and it'll be drinkable. He had changed his clothes and didn't seem too bothered by my mistake, smiling at me. While I carefully warmed the milk in a small pot, he was in the bathroom spraying his uniform with deodorizer. It's rare to see Tenjo-san so spaced out. We drink the milk tea I've finished making in the room. When I'm alone, I'm usually like this. I'm sorry for troubling you. It's been a lot easier since Kaguya-chan started coming around, so it's fine. My stepsister can be useful sometimes, huh? That kind of flippant talk isn't good, you know. It's thanks to you, Tenjo-san, that I've learned to speak so casually. My sister and I are both grateful. I'm tired of hearing thanks. If anything, I should be the one grateful. If it were just me, things would have ended as they were. I just wanted to continue being Sensei's neighbor. Yeah, the milk tea is perfectly fine. It's the season for enjoying warm drinks, isn't it? We savor the moment together. As the seasons change, we cherish these mundane moments shared together. School again tomorrow. We should go to bed early, but I want to stay together just a little longer. Uenagi-kun, your hair is still wet. Didn't you use a dryer? Isn't using a dryer a hassle? It'll dry on its own if you leave it. That's not something you should say to a woman with long hair. Does he have any idea how much time a woman spends on her hair every day? Beautiful hair doesn't happen overnight. Can't be helped. I'll dry it for you. No, that's okay. I want to try. Then, please. He brings the dryer from the bathroom. I sit on the bed and start drying his hair as he sits on the floor. It's kind of embarrassing to have someone dry my hair like this. Other than when I'm getting a haircut, it's probably been since I was a kid. While drying, I secretly stroke his head with my fingertips. I can't help but smile. Why do you look so happy? Because being allowed to touch someone's hair is a sign of trust, right? Of course. It's my first time drying a guy's hair. It's an honor. While we chat about trivial things, I notice the hair tie on his wrist. Speaking of which, you tie your hair back with a hair tie earlier, right? During classwork, he ties his hair back to keep it out of the way while he paints with a serious expression. It's somehow endearing. When I'm painting, it's definitely in the way. What about it? Just checking. Is it too long? If it bothers you, I'll cut it after the cultural festival. No, it's not that I mind your hairstyle. But, to him, it was just a tool and didn't carry any deep meaning. I just don't like it if it's from another girl. I blurted it out, even though it had been on my mind for a while. Okay, it's dry now. When I turn off the dryer, the room suddenly goes quiet. Tenjo-san, I'm sorry. That was thoughtless of me. It's okay. After all, I was the one who first agreed to play Kyuhun-san's boyfriend. As an accomplice, I can't just look the other way. But it's also hard for me to make Tenjo-san endure. It's no use apologizing. Then, at least let me have one of Tenjo-san's hair ties. He turns around and takes a hair tie from my wrist. You're a thief. I'll pay for it. You can't charge for something like this. I can't just take a hair tie for free. Ah, no good, I've reached my limit. Whenever we're alone like this, I can't hold back, don't look down. Keep your smile up, stand tall and puff out your chest. Keep smiling like always, just a little more patience. Don't worry him, I'm fine. You're an adult, behave, don't let it get to you. Lie, no, impossible. Wait, what's that? I stumble upon something that seems to stop the tears that were on the verge of breaking through. I don't know why I noticed it, not even sure myself. Was it just a coincidence, or a woman's intuition? Since he came back, I've faintly sensed something indescribable, an atmosphere different from his usual self. But now, I've clearly found something that wasn't in the room before. It smells. I slowly get up from the bed and head straight for it. A student bag placed in the corner of the room, and inside the open zipper, a small box. Ah, sorry, I forgot to spray deodorizer on my bag. I'll do it right now. He hasn't noticed yet. They say women have a keener sense of smell than men, but in this case, the smell is probably irrelevant. It's more like my sixth sense has caught something decisive. Without hesitation, I reach into his bag and pull it out. Making sure it's not a mistake, I slowly turn to face him. Hey, Uenage-kun, what might this be? Care to enlighten Sensei in detail? I'm sure I'm wearing an exceptionally bright smile. And he's frozen. From his expression to his fingertips, to his hair, he's become like a statue, completely motionless in an instant. The angel and devil that were arguing in my head are blown away by the direct hit of a volcanic eruption. Angel and devil, it's not what you think. What isn't? There's a complicated story behind it. That's why it ended up here. Just answer the question, please. I naturally press him very calmly. The flow of lava is slow, but the heat is incredibly intense. He grimaces, then looks up to the heavens as if seeking divine help. Then, as if he's made up his mind, he begins to speak. It's something worn during the intimate acts of men and women. Did you buy it yourself? I was forced into taking it on my way home. By whom? At that, he clams up. I understand from his reaction. It's from her, isn't it? Yes. You've received rubber for free twice already. It's a different kind of rubber. It's all the same. I'm sorry. Isn't that too direct of an attack? Are kids these days this aggressive? Impressive. I never expected such a direct approach. I'm so flustered I don't know what to do. I thought I was close in age to the students, but I'm suddenly aware of the generation gap. No, look closely. It's unopened. Brand new, unused. I swear I haven't done anything. Uenage-kun desperately pleads his innocence. Of course, it should be unopened. If it wasn't, I definitely wouldn't have trusted you. I'm feeling terrible. but I'm secretly relieved that it hasn't turned into the worst-case scenario. The other party doesn't know my circumstances. They're just earnestly pursuing their own romance. But isn't this too bold? Did I give too much aid to the enemy? You're surprisingly calm. Do I seem that way? No, my apologies for the slip of the tongue. It's unlike him to make such a basic mistake. Why on earth would she do something so direct? I was confessed to. She said she didn't want me to be just a pretend boyfriend, but the real thing. The relationships between men and women progress so quickly when you just take your eyes off for a moment. I couldn't be happy knowing that someone I like is popular with others. I don't even want to imagine someone else making advances on them. I feel like I could explode with jealousy and possessiveness. Youth is terrifying. For the first time, I felt threatened. If someone comes at you with such recklessness, there's no defense. She's serious if she's offering something like this. I feel like I'm suffering the consequences of my own careless words. I grumble to myself. Consequences. It's partly because of the morning calls that Kyuhyun-san developed feelings for you, and I allowed the boyfriend act to be the final blow. It all came back to me like a boomerang. It's my fault. It's okay. The younger me would have fallen for you too if you had been kind to me. It's a strange twist of fate. I thought Kyuhyun-san and I were similar, but I never imagined we'd have the same taste in men. It's as if my teenage self is dragging down my 20s self. Why bother? Adults scoff at the idea of eternal love as if it's a childish dream. In the end, being an adult is just a matter of age. Mentally, people don't change all that much. You're a different person. Hi. Tenjo Ryu and Kyuhyun Akira are not that similar. Seeing your reaction just now, I'm certain of it. Certain of what? Even if Tenjo Ryu had been my classmate, she wouldn't have done, nor could she do, something like what Akira did. That may be true, but I was able to meet you, Sensei, at this timing, and that's why we could have this relationship. It's a strange thing to say, but if it had been the Tenjo Ryu of the past, I'm sure we would have graduated without anything happening between us. Even if there was a beautiful girl like you in my class, I wouldn't have been able to even speak to you. He confessed shyly. His words were a salvation. No matter what troubles or hardships arise, love is always best in the present moment. Isn't that kind of sad? Trying to hold back tears that came suddenly, I feigned ignorance. No. I'm the kind of guy who would run away if my stepsister confessed to me, and I can't bring myself to throw away a rubber given to me by another girl. He tried to sound hopeless, but in reality, it was the opposite. Everything he did was to avoid hurting the other person. He is sincere because he fully understands Kyuhyun-san's seriousness. He is someone who can empathize with others. He spares no effort in being as kind as possible, doing his best to avoid inflicting pain on others. We can't go back to the past, nor can we preempt the future. The only certainty is that the love we have here is genuine, without lies or deceit. As we talked, my irrational anger settled, and I found the leeway to sulk. And yet, you deliberately brought it back home. I thought it would be better to have it than to be in trouble when the time comes. In this room, he emphasized the last part conspicuously. When the actual tool is in front of me, I gradually become dominated by a different kind of tension than usual. Wait, what should I do? What am I supposed to do? Do you want to? That is, yes. What if another girl said it was okay for you to use it? Please rest assured, my top priority is the neighbor agreement. In the end, this is what I like about him. Both he and I have desires. He must see through all my hesitation, anger, and jealousy. Yet he waits for me. I will end all lies properly at the cultural festival. He said this with conviction. Chapter 5, Because You're the Best, the cultural festival had begun. The animal maid cafe, with its theme-based interior and the cute maid outfits worn by the female classmates, had already become a topic of conversation. By noon, a long line had formed. The queue that started in classroom 2C stretched beyond the corridor and down the stairs. Nikki, the manager, 2 coffees and 2 cookies for table 4. A girl in a maid outfit, who was serving customers, came to the counter that served as the reception to relay the order. On the other side of the partition, the boys were busy preparing food and drinks. The familiar classroom felt somewhat cramped due to the flashy decorations and partition boards. So when did I become the manager? Despite his protest, his hands automatically moved to fulfill the order as soon as it was placed. He quickly poured coffee into paper cups from a pre-made batch. It's because your own apron suits you so well. Plus, your skilled hands from your cafe part-time job experience. You're just right for the role of a manager who can organize the back end. It's to avoid staining the class parka that's also a keepsake. I'd be bummed if it got coffee splashes, and stain removal is a hassle. Nikki is the only one who thought to bring an apron. Boys who cook are really reliable, aren't they? Mayuzumi-san's point wasn't lost on me. At first, the turnout was slow, but as the reputation of the maids spread, the number of customers increased, and as more people from outside came, the line grew longer. The boys assigned to the back end struggled to prepare drinks and snacks as ordered. There were inconsistencies in the amount poured into the paper cups, incorrect quantities, and even mix-ups with the orders themselves. If anything spilled just before serving, it caused a commotion in the back, leading to hurried cleanups and further delays for the customers. And with many attractive maids present, there were also customers who lingered with the intention of flirting. The decisive factor was allocating manpower to manage the waiting line that extended outside the classroom. There were 30 students in Class 2C, with an almost even ratio of boys to girls. They were divided into 3 groups of 10 and rotated in shifts. Despite having prepared a perfect shift schedule in advance, unexpected troubles were inevitable. There were those who couldn't participate in the shifts due to club activities or other commitments, and some who got caught up in issues and couldn't return in time. As a result, both the floor and the back end had fewer people than initially planned, and allocating staff to line management led to chaos due to being understaffed. Although it wasn't my shift yet, I couldn't stand by and not help. To increase customer turnover, please ensure the following rules are strictly enforced. Each customer must order at least one item, and the table occupancy time is strictly limited to 30 minutes. No outside food or drinks allowed. Photography is limited to the interior and food only. Make sure staff faces are not captured. If customers are flirting and don't listen to warnings, they're disrupting business, and the R Sports Club boys can forcibly remove them without mercy. Taking command as the back-end coordinator, I directed the others and worked in tandem with the floor leader, Mayuzumi-san, to re-establish the service system. Nishiki, we're out of the pre-made coffee. I just made a new batch. Serve that and then prepare an additional refill. Nishiki-kun, can't we take a 2-shot checky with the maids? Checky equals a Polaroid photograph. We're a cafe, we don't offer such services. But someone's asking specifically for Kyuhuin-san and says they'll pay any amount. What should we do? No matter how much money they offer, it's out of the question. Rejected. Refuse everything. Manager, there's a persistent flirt. He won't leave no matter how much we warn him. Any sports club members free, please assist in escorting them out. Manager, the Cultural Festival Committee is telling us to manage the line properly. Ah, enough. Leave this place to me, you two go help with the line. Manager, who's the manager? Some customers are asking if there's a service to feed cute animals, especially wanting to give premium meat to the tiger. They say they'll pay any price. That must be the same person who wanted a 2-shot checky with Akira. Kick them out before they cause any trouble. The requests were endless, and I was running around trying to keep up. However, thanks to standing firm until everyone got used to their roles, the chaos eventually subsided, although the crowd continued. My experience working in a food service job was proving useful. As I responded to everyone's instructions, I somehow became known as the manager. By the way, the boys in the back were also made to wear animal ears. Akira chose the wolf ears for me. Mayuzumi-san. It's about time for table 3 to vacate. Understood. Don't worry, I've made sure to set aside plenty of time to go out and have fun with Ikiaki. As a maid, Mayuzumi Ririka used her natural cheerfulness to play the friendly friend character, closing the distance even with first-time customers. Her casual demeanor and witty banter as a cat-eared maid were the epitome of the maid cafe experience. Customers who wanted to talk with Mayuzumi-san often placed additional orders. Well, that would be nice if we had the time. Why's that? It's this busy before lunch, and the number of customers is only going to increase. The number of people passing through the corridor was growing, and there was no sign that the influx of customers to the animal maid cafe of Class 2C would slow down anytime soon. I've sent out messages for help, but not everyone can come running. Ririka might have misjudged this. She checked her smartphone messages, her expression not brightening. Having so many customers is proof that the concept was good. Mayuzumi-san, it's not just your responsibility. Nikki, you're so nice. No amount of flattery will get you anything. That's why a kiyaki opens up to you. Mayuzumi-san muttered thoughtfully. Still, this is way too many people. Of course, I was proud that we had prepared well and achieved a higher quality than other classes. But the crowd had surpassed the level of a typical cultural festival. Maybe it's because Ririka has so many friends, and Ririka invited them all to come. That's a testament to Mayuzumi-san's popularity, and as a store, it's a huge success. I was quite laid back about the situation. Mayuzumi-san. Actually, I think there's more to it than that. Mayuzumi-san confessed awkwardly, checking to make sure no one else could hear, then beckoned me closer. Wanting to share a secret, I also moved in closer. It seems like the rumor of a kiyaki and Nikki dating has had a greater impact than expected. There are quite a few students from other grades coming to check out what kind of guy her boyfriend is. Seriously? Yeah. Akira's popularity is something else, huh? You're too detached. With all this set up and you still haven't fallen for her, just who are you, Nikki? Become her real boyfriend already. Why am I getting scolded by Mayuzumi-san? Without official confirmation, fans will remain anxious. Just make it clear. Fan psychology seems complicated. That Akira would be so active is unexpected. On the floor, Akira, dressed as a tiger-eared maid, was bustling about energetically. She would finish taking orders with her blunt and brief conversations and immediately relay them to the back. After clearing the tables where customers had left, she would guide the next customers to their seats. Persistent guests received a cold rebuke, and with the power of her glare, they would leave dejectedly. Tsundere maids are somehow moe, right? It's like getting a deal on something sweet yet spicy. From a customer service perspective, it's a disaster, but as a character trait for Akira the maid, it's perfect. She only shows her smile to the person she likes, so it's fine. It's strange how many people are happy with such dismissive service. Ririka, stop slacking off and get back to serving. Akira came over to give a warning, taking Mayuzumi-san's place. Okay, Mayuzumi-san said, placing the prepared coffee on a tray and returning to the floor. Coffee and tea for table 3, one of each. It seems Akira had already cleared table 3, which Mayuzumi-san had been asked to take care of. Understood. From the infamous rubber confession incident to today, Kyuhu and Akira's attitude hasn't changed. Even if I stop giving her morning calls, she arrives at school on time, just as she said she would. We talk normally, and if others treat us as a couple, we act accordingly. During lunch break, she comes to sit next to me, and as usual, we eat together. I'm amazed by her business-as-usual attitude. Either she's got nerves of steel or she's not showing any signs of emotional turmoil. Akira's presence is apparently bringing in a lot of business. You're basically the star attraction. That's out of the blue. It's creepy how you suddenly praise me. I'm just saying something boyfriend-like. Shocking. I thought you'd gone crazy from being too busy. Her insincere response and blunt words are infuriating. And here I am, still agonizing over the confession. The Nishiki Uenagi, I confess to, doesn't casually speak sweet words. This is not like you. Her provocative words stop me in my tracks. She suddenly brought up a topic we've been avoiding. What? It's troubling to be stared at like that. Do you like me that much? Akira teases with evident enjoyment. I thought you'd be less cooperative with school events. This time is special thanks to Nishiki. After this, things will become clear. Akira wears an aggressively cheerful smile. Aren't you supposed to be more nervous and unsettled while waiting for an outcome? I get more excited when I'm nervous. You perform well under pressure, huh? That's why I've always performed well in competitions. Her confidence is backed by relentless effort and self-awareness, having consistently achieved results. Such a mentality is incredibly strong, attracting the desired outcomes. Running and romance are different, you know. But Nishiki, you've been conscious of me all week, haven't you? I can't help it. Akira deliberately leans over from the other side of the counter, trying to peek at me. Her outfit has a wide neckline, and when she leans forward, her cleavage becomes visible. The maid outfit accentuates her figure, making me all too aware of her. Nishiki, your gaze is pervy. Akira quickly covers her chest with her hand. Here, the drinks are ready, take them. I offer the tray with the drinks as if to distract myself from the situation. So, what do you think of my maid outfit? Akira looks pleased with herself, clearly in a good mood today. I praised you during the fitting. I want to hear your thoughts on the actual day. Throwing out sweet words casually isn't my thing, right? Even so, there are times when I want to hear them. You're such a hassle. That's right. Women are incredibly troublesome. But Nishiki, you don't hate that, do you? She smiles as if she's seen right through me. Yahoo, is Yu-kun here? I've arrived. Just at that moment, Kaguya enters the classroom. Ah. Slacking off and chatting with the maid. That's not good. Instead of heading to a table, Kaguya comes straight to the counter where I am, pushing aside Akira as if she were invisible. I don't miss the twitch of irritation in Akira's eyebrow. This girl is my relative, so you can guide the others first. When I tell the guy who brought Kaguya, if the manager says so, he seems convinced. Yu-kun, you became a manager. It's just a title. But Kaguya, you got here quickly. The line was long, so you must have waited quite a while. Nope, I was able to come right away. Right away? Don't tell me you just barged in. Make sure to follow the order properly. I did line up at the end. Then, when I said, my Oni-chan is inside, but I don't have much time because I need to get home quickly, everyone kindly let me go ahead. There are so many kind people here. Kaguya explained with a smile. Guys, you're being completely manipulated by this middle school girl. She speaks as if she's merely benefiting from the kindness of others, but this is typical of the sweetly manipulative Kaguya. Excuse me, guest, please refrain from conversing here. I kindly ask you to move to a table. Akira, with an exaggeratedly polite tone, interrupted and warned Kaguya, who had cut in. Ah, you're still here. Shouldn't the maid be getting back to work? Kaguya ignored Akira's presence and tried to continue the conversation with me. I'll throw you out. Yu-kun, this maid is so scary. She's glaring at me so fiercely. Don't worry about it. That's Akira's default look. Plus, it's part of her maid character. Heh, so the customers who enjoy being glared at are all masochists, huh? Where do you learn such words, my dear sister? Those aren't words a middle schooler should be using. Nikki, you should be backing me up. Akira complained and left with her tray. Kaguya, you're in the way standing there, so go to the back. Don't do as you please. Okay. Kaguya obediently complied. Hey, Nikki. Is that cute girl someone you know? One of the boys in the back, with a nervous look, asked on behalf of the others. Kaguya and I exchanged glances. Nice to meet you. My Oni-chan is always in your care. I'm his stepsister, Kaguya. Hello. Kaguya greeted them cheerfully. Her innocent behavior must have a firm grip on their male hearts. Oni-san. All 5 of them shouted in unison. Who's your Oni-san? I don't recall being anyone's brother here. Yu-kun's friends are so funny, she said with a chuckle. Best friends forever. Since when? They suddenly put their arms around me, forcibly trying to show off our friendship. Don't move around as you please in such a cramped space. You guys are too easily played by Kaguya, such transparent fellows. Following Kyuhuin-san, to have such a cute little sister too. Nikki, you're too lucky. Ooh, much of a life winner. Introduce us to some girls too. Please let us formally call you Oni-san. You guys are noisy. Get back to work, or else I'll leave. Manager's tyranny. Abuse of authority. Power harassment. He's showing off his sister. His sister is genuinely too cute. I like her. When a bunch of guys make noise, it's just annoying. And there's one who seems to be seriously into it. I'm taking the entrance exams for Kyo High School, so if I pass, please take care of me, senpai. With pleasure. They are so loud, they're overly excited. Such unprecedented solidarity is displayed. With just one girl around, the transformation in their behavior is astonishing. I disperse the gathered boys and send them back to their respective jobs. Oh my, isn't that cute girl over there Nikki's stepsister? Mayuzumi-san noticed Kaguya's presence. Ah, you're the person I met in Odaiba, right? Thank you for the dress that time. Kaguya is commendable in this respect. She always makes sure to thank people properly, no matter how much time has passed since she last saw them. Wow, you remembered me, I'm so happy. Kaguya and Mayuzumi-san hit it off, clapping hands and giggling together. Strange. Akira was there too, but why is there such a difference in attitude? The difference in treatment is too blatant. I really liked that dress and wore it a lot in the summer. I knew it would suit you perfectly, little sister. Show me a picture next time. Of course, your maid outfit is also very lovely, Oni-san. Thank you. Both of them are unusually high-spirited. The closeness they exhibit is surprising, as if they have been close friends for years. Kaguya, it's about time you took a seat. It's my treat today, so feel free to order whatever you like. I love this side of you, Yu-kun. I'll take advantage of your kindness without hesitation. Then Ririka will show you the way. Please come this way. As Kaguya walked away, the boys from the back approached me sneakily. Nishiki, give us your sister's contact information later. I refuse. You siskin. So what? It's only natural for an Aniki to protect his cute younger sister. I'm too tired to deal with this properly, so I just respond with a defiant attitude. Wow, Nishiki, you actually admit you're a siskin. Gross. I get a disdainful look from Akira, who happens to pass by. Section. While I'm happy about the popularity of the Animal Maid Cafe, it also brings its share of troubles. Every time there's a shift change, we have to reorganize the stable customer service setup. Not everyone is skilled at serving and attending to customers, and even with practice, it doesn't mean they can do it perfectly during the real deal. To fill these gaps, leaders like Mayuzumi-san, myself, and a few others like Akira have stayed behind in the classroom to hold the fort, maintaining the operation of the Animal Maid Cafe thus far. Despite all the complaints, once the cultural festival started, everyone got seriously into it and enjoyed themselves. I myself was caught up in the festival high, but now I'm reaching my limit. It's been as busy as a chain cafe during peak hours, and it just keeps going. We managed to get through lunchtime, but then tea time was waiting for us. Customers tired from walking around the festival were looking for a place to sit and rest. If they're going to rest, they might as well enjoy the view of cute maids. As a result of this honest demand, the line continued without a break. There were also surprisingly many groups of girls visiting, each enjoying the unique Animal Maid characters. What's going on here? It's even more crowded than when I came in the morning. Tenjo Sensei, who came to see the classroom of Class 2C, was surprised by the unexpected prosperity of the festival and our exhausted state. Ah, Rei-chan, I'm glad I caught you before leaving. You see, Yu-kun and the others seem to be having a tough time. It was only natural for Kaguya, who had been in the classroom the whole time, to be worried. Sensei took the main members to the baggage area to grasp the situation. We just can't seem to solve the chronic shortage of hands. I finally admit defeat. I had braced myself for it, but as expected, there was no chance for a proper break. I was on my feet the whole time, only managing to nibble on a cookie when I had a spare moment. At this rate, it would be difficult to enjoy the festival as a visitor. Ryu-chan sensei, what should we do? We're so popular that we're about to run out of supplies. We need a break too. Mayuzumi-san and Akira both let out their concerns. It was clear to anyone that we were in a pinch. Our class's cultural festival might just end prematurely. I'm sorry if I had noticed sooner. Sensei, you had other things to do like the swim club. It can't be helped. I quickly reassure the worried sensei. We can't afford to have her turn into a dark Ryu. Yu-kun and Ririka-chan, you shouldn't push yourself. As an extra, Akira should take a break too. In this short time, Kaguya's different levels of familiarity with each person became blatantly obvious. Don't call your seniors by their first names without honorifics, and it's not okay for an outsider to just walk into the back like that. Exhaustion was evident in Akira's voice. I'm just worried about the tired Yu-kun. Kaguya clings to my arm as if to support me, accepting it so naturally as expected of a siskin. Akira's mouth turned into a frown. I just realized, but Kaguya-chan and Ryu-chan sensei know each other. You seem quite close. Mayuzumi-san's observation made me realize something. I hadn't discussed this with Tenjo sensei or Kaguya. Nishiki-kun consulted me about his younger sister's future, so I've actually met her before. But more importantly, let's decide what to do next. Tenjo sensei quickly wraps up the topic with a plausible explanation and moves on to discuss future plans. As a sensei, I think it's okay to close up without pushing ourselves. Managing to operate this popularly without any major trouble is very commendable. Everyone has done a great job. Indeed, if our operations had collapsed, it wouldn't be strange to be shut down by the festival's executive committee. With that said, what does Mayuzumi-san want to do? After stating her conclusion from a teacher's perspective, she seeks the opinion of the class leader. But the line is still going. For the first time, the girl who always led everyone with a smile, as the leader showed hesitation. Don't worry about it, Sensei will take care of it. You've worked hard enough as participants, now enjoy the rest of the time as visitors. Hey, what do you think, Manager Nikki? Is it too difficult? Ririka wants to continue if possible. Mayuzumi-san looked at me. Perhaps feeling guilty for possibly causing the congestion, she couldn't decide on her own. Honestly, there's not much point in continuing to push ourselves. Besides, as long as the flow of customers doesn't slow down, the shortage of hands won't be resolved. Tenjo-sensei's advice was appropriate. We had attracted more than enough customers for our cultural festival food stall. Even if we stopped now, it would be a perfect memory. However, that's only if you look at it objectively. We're not in the business of making money. Our goal isn't financial profit. We're holding this event for the memories of our second year in high school. I disagree. We can still do it. The unexpected objection came from Akira. Akiaki. I hate leaving things half done. If we started it, we should see it through to the end. Akira, don't be so stubborn. You're not particularly good at customer service either, so you must be tired. We don't have much in the way of supplies left, and with the current flow of customers, we can probably only operate for another hour at most. As the one in charge of the back, I made sure to share the inventory status. The extra snacks we ordered, thinking we could share them at the end if there were leftovers, were already running low. That's fine, an hour is plenty. If Nishiki is tired, he can just rest. It's not that simple. As always, you're too harsh with your words, you know. And you, as always, are too kind as ever. Akira retorted with heavy sarcasm. We agreed to be accomplices until the cultural festival. I'll stick with you to the end. I returned the sarcasm firmly. There was no way I could betray her at the last moment. Hey, can't we ask Kaguya-chan to be a pinch hitter? Mayuzumi-san, unable to give up, comes up with yet another surprising suggestion. Are you suggesting we let my little sister work as a maid? I hastily ask for clarification. Yeah, even if it's just to give Ririka and the others a break. I'd rather not. Kaguya flatly refuses. Her ability to say no so calmly is typical of my stepsister. You should read the room and nod in agreement. I'm your senior, after all. Akira grumbles audibly. Don't push your sports club mentality on me. I'm not even a student here yet. Akira and Kaguya's gazes clash. These two really don't get along. That's right. It's too much to involve an outsider like Kaguya-chan. Tenjo-sensei also gently declines, given her position. But you could wear a cute maid outfit. Mayuzumi-san persists, though with less vigor than usual. I don't need to wear a maid outfit to be cute. I'm cute enough on my own, no problem. Well, that's true. I'm sorry for asking too much. Mayuzumi-san looks downcast, like a flower wilting. Even if we borrow Kaguya's help, it won't make much of a difference. I try to keep the atmosphere from getting too somber by being overly cheerful. Hey, you-kun, I can't let that comment slide. Who says I won't be useful? Kaguya snaps back at my light-hearted remark. I didn't go that far, just that expectations often lead to disappointments. How rude. Taking orders, serving, and cleaning up is all there is to it. I can do that much. Really? You-kun, if you want my help, just ask nicely, okay? Then I'll consider it. Kaguya had seen through my intentions from the start. We don't need to rely on such a cheeky middle schooler. We can manage on our own. Ririka, let's go back. I can do it, no problem at all. Kaguya, now unable to ignore Akira, becomes visibly annoyed. Akira looks straight at Kaguya and says, You're an eyesore. If you're going to flirt with your brother like that here, you might as well change and come help. It was a classic Akira provocation. Well, I do owe you for the dress, so just this once, but it's a special case. Kaguya agrees, albeit grudgingly. But there's one condition if I'm going to accept. Kaguya steps forward. What is it? Spit it out. Rei-chan has to join in as a maid too. With that one statement, everyone's gaze shifts to Tenjo-sensei. Me? No way, no way. Tenjo-sensei, suddenly the target, refuses. Ryu-chan sensei, don't you have time? Mayuzumi-san pleads with teary eyes. It's not that I don't have time, but I'm a teacher. There's no rule that says a teacher can't participate in the cultural festival, right? Sensei, you've even played in a band on stage before, so there shouldn't be a problem, right? Right. Akira logically and directly corners her. No, a maid outfit is definitely a bit much. Rei-chan is beautiful, so it'll be fine. Let's help Yukun together. Sensei is overwhelmed by the expectant gazes of the three girls. Why not? I want to experience youth with Sensei, so let's keep it going a little longer. My words are more a confession than a persuasion. Now that it's come to this, I'll make Sensei an accomplice to the end. Youth can't be measured by rationality or efficiency alone. It might be a waste, but it's not meaningless. We'll push through the absurdity on the momentum of the festival. Because we want to do it. Isn't that recklessness the privilege of being a teenager? The true value of these experiences will be realized not now, but in the future when they become memories. It's okay, it'll surely become a funny story later. Fine, just for the last hour, we'll serve only the customers who are in line now. Anyone who lines up after that will be turned away from the start. We close as soon as we run out of stock. Got it. Half in desperation, Sensei agrees. I turn around and shout so that it echoes through the classroom like Tarzan. Last hour until closing. Tenjo Sensei will become a maid and help us. Immediately, a roar of cheers responds. The classroom comes back to life. Hey, Nishiki-kun, was there really a need to shout just now? Absolutely not, right? It helps boost everyone's spirits if they know. Tenjo-sense reluctantly agreed with my well-reasoned argument. You always think ahead, don't you? It's just me getting carried away. After all, today is the cultural festival. You seem to be having fun. Of course, Sensei, please enjoy yourself too. Section, now, our cultural festival is almost at its end. The moment Kaguya, dressed in a maid outfit, appeared, she instantly captured the attention of the customers who had been focused on the other maids until then. Objectively speaking, the girl named Nishiki Kaguya was undeniably cute. The maid outfit with dog-ear headband suited her perfectly, and true to her word, she worked hard. Especially when she was competing with Akira in serving customers. In terms of customer service, her character as a cheerful, little sister-type maid, or rather, just being herself, was very well received. Everyone's eyes softened as they watched her move around the floor like a puppy. Yukun, 2 coffees for table 2, okay? How is it? I'm doing well, right? It seems so. I'll take back my earlier slip of the tongue and apologize. Sorry. If you understand, then it's fine. Despite her initial reluctance, Kaguya became the flower of the floor in high spirits. Nishiki-kun, you have an amazing little sister. She's the type who'd gather all the boys' attention, so I definitely wouldn't want to invite her to a mixer. The girls in my class reported a mix of mysterious admiration and caution. Hey, isn't this skirt too short for an adult over 20? It's fine. Ryu-chan sensei, you look amazing. You could pass as a classmate of Ririka and the others. Mayuzumi-san was ecstatically praising her. I felt exactly the same way. What appeared was none other than Tenjo Ryu-sensei herself in a mini-skirt maid outfit. With long rabbit ears on her head, she looked incredibly cute. The destructive power was so strong that it almost made my reason waver. At least let me wear a parka. That should be fine, right? Struggling with her embarrassment, Sensei desperately pleaded. If you're serving customers, you must wear the proper animal maid outfit. This is our uniform for the day. For just one day, right? Every time Sensei felt embarrassed, her long ears would tremble, making her emotions visibly apparent. Mayuzumi-san, good job, nice choice. Or would you prefer the bunny girl outfit that comes with a set of rabbit ears? Why do we even have a bunny girl costume for the cultural festival? Ririka prepared it on a whim. Thinking someone might wear it, how about it, Sensei? Of course not. Mayuzumi-san, now fully revived, was exercising her authority as the leader. Before my eyes was a paradise. An all-star lineup of maids, a splendid sight to behold. Tenjo Ryu, Kyuhun Akira, Mayuzumi Ririka, Nishiki Kaguya, these 4 stood out notably. Rabbit ears with a classic style, tiger ears with a cool style, cat ears with a friendly style, dog ears with a little sister style. The diverse visual and customer service attitudes were vibrant and wonderful. Just their presence made the floor seem brighter as if it were a different place. We had to impose entry restrictions. keeping the classroom door closed except when customers were entering or leaving. This spectacle was something only those fortunate enough to be present could witness. The effect wasn't limited to the customers, it also spread to us, the staff. Interestingly, the addition of special guests, Sensei and Kaguya, brought back the energy to everyone else. The boys working behind the scenes increased their supply speed just to catch a glimpse of the floor action. They should have been this serious from the start. And so, Class 2C made its final sprint. Section. The line has cleared up to the stairs. Only the hallway is left. Someone who had been managing the line came back to report. Finally, the end was in sight. Maid-outfitted Tenjo-sensei maintained her smile just like during class, providing classic-style service with mature, elegant manners and polite language. That composure and ease were not something easily exhibited by teenagers. Despite her initial resistance, once she was on the floor, she was dedicated to her work, which was admirable. Nishiki-kun, Table 1. Please prepare coffee and cookies. Tenjo-sensei came to the counter to place an order. Understood. Don't stare too much. Actually, I'm regretting banning photos now. Of course, we can't have personal information leaking out. I'll just etch it into my memory instead. These casual conversations became a small respite amidst the busyness. Why did you change your mind to agree? I wanted to see Sensei in a maid outfit. Is that all? Just like I said earlier. I wanted to experience youth with you, Sensei, so I boldly got you involved. I also had a valuable experience. It's very different being a spectator than doing it. You can continue doing it next year and beyond. This year is enough. Do you dislike cosplay that much? I'd rather not in front of a crowd. What about in front of a lover? That's worth considering. Sensei's lover must be the happiest person in the world. I wonder. I make him put up with a lot. I just hope he doesn't hate me. I place the ordered items on the tray and offer it. Sensei, you're the best. I know. Because you're the best, please don't get it wrong. Note the best number 1. A wordplay about the coffee order for table 1 and saying that she's the best. It's just repeating a table number. But the woman in front of me understood the meaning I put into that word. Thank you. I watch Sensei's back as she returns to the floor. The line has been completely cleared. We're out of sweets too, only drinks are left. Voices call out from both the floor and the back. Customers inside the classroom leave one after another, and soon there are only a handful left. Our cultural festival is finally coming to an end. Section. Thank you for visiting us. The last customer leaves the classroom, and with that, today's business is concluded. Our second-year class sees Animal Maid Cafe has closed with great success. Everyone, good work. It was incredibly busy, but thank you so much for sticking it out to the end. Mei Yuzumi-san steps forward and loudly expresses her gratitude. Okay, since the festival itself is still going on, let's do a minimal cleanup and then take a break. Enjoy the remaining time, and please come back later to help clean up. As the leader, she gives instructions for what comes next. Also, thank you to Tenjo-sensei and Nikki's little sister for helping out. Let's give them a round of applause. Tenjo-sensei and Kaguya stayed with us until the end. You two go ahead and change. Ririka-chan, since we're here, I want to take a commemorative photo. At Kaguya's suggestion, the girls agree. The classmates who had been out on other errands managed to return, so we were able to gather everyone together nicely. We gather at the front of the classroom, and I try to head to the edge. Nikki, why are you going to the edge? Nikki is today's MVP, so naturally you should be in the center. I want to be next to you, Kun. Ray-chan, come over here too. I should be on the edge. The main characters are everyone from second-year class C, right? To Sensei, who is being modest, I say one thing. It's fine. Tenjo-sensei became a maid too, so you're the same as us. That's right, pushed by the voices of the other classmates, Sensei also takes her place in the center. We took a good photo. Everyone looked happy and had great smiles. Thus, the second-year class C's Animal Maid Cafe came to a close. As a token of appreciation for our hard work, Akira and I were allowed to leave early. Stepping out into the hallway, I breathe in the fresh air. I've been standing in the classroom the whole time, so I'm completely exhausted. I end up sitting down at the end of the hallway. I take a break with some leftover coffee. Finally, I can take off my apron. Nikki, good work. Akira, you too. Akira sits down next to me when she finds me. She's still in his maid outfit, but she's taken off the tiger ears. Thank you for going along with my whims. Are you talking about playing the boyfriend role? Or about the last hour? We talk, leaning in so that only the two of us can hear. Both. When I think it's over, I start to miss this hectic feeling a little. I'm too tired to feel sentimental yet. A mix of relief, fatigue, satisfaction, and hunger swirls inside me, making it hard to settle down. You're not very sentimental, are you? You're the manager. It's just a title. But we pulled through. We're in this together. Looking out the window, I see the day is waning, and the darkness begins to stain the sky. Only a little time is left until the end of the cultural festival. I know the answer without asking Nishiki. Akira suddenly starts the conversation. Sorry. I was pretty confident, you know. It's not your fault, Akira. Even after that direct temptation, you didn't waver. Normally, 9 out of 10 people would say yes. And of all people, Nishiki is that one. Ah, this is the worst. I was so embarrassed. Akira's short-term strategy was quite powerful. I thought I could win if I appealed to basic instincts. If a tiger bites you, there's no chance of winning. I can't become that beastly. Ah, I want you to take care of yourself, so don't recklessly do things like that. Still, I was serious, in my own way. I know. And I was genuinely happy just to know you felt that way. I did something out of character too, but these past few weeks turned out to be surprisingly fun. That's why I wanted to continue. It was enlightening for me too. I understood what it's like to date a classmate, something I'd never experienced before. We were both first-timers, it would have been perfect. Kyuhu and Akira is a great girl. It was just a matter of timing, that's all. Simply that. Would it have worked out at a different time? Akira turned to me with a clear and bright expression. I think, after all, love and running are different. It's not like a ready, set, go where everyone starts at the same time. The timing of the start is different for everyone, and it's not about being the fastest on the track to win. After all, everyone's goal in love is different. Love that culminates in a physical relationship. Happy unrequited love, mutual feelings that end without confession. Love that continues for years but ends in loss. Love that wins instantly upon meeting. There are as many ways to love as there are people. That's all there is to it. Yeah, love is definitely more complicated. If it weren't, there's no way Akira would lose. Which mouth is saying that? Akira playfully nudged my shoulder. Can I ask one last thing? Answer honestly. No more lies. Okay. Akira asked as if reporting tomorrow's weather. Nishiki's crush is Tenjo Sensei, right? Yes. I see, can't be helped. The opponent was just too strong. Akira had a look of relief on her face. How did you know? I saw the face you made while talking to Sensei earlier, and it clicked. Was it that different? Different? You never showed me that face until the end. I'm really bad at lying, huh? I've been watching all this time. Nishiki always sits in the front row, so I can only see your back, but I realized you always looked at Tenjo-sense with that kind of gaze. That explained a lot of your reactions. Ah, if a woman in love tells lies, then a man does the exact opposite. In front of the person they truly love, they become unable to lie. Nishiki, sorry for dumping such a troublesome thing on you. I'm the one who accepted it. I'll tell everyone that Nishiki broke up because he's too much of a siskin. At least wait until Kaguya goes back to tell them. You're not even complaining to the end. It's the cultural festival. Let's enjoy it to the last. All right, I understand. I took off my apron and gently placed it over Akira's head to cover her face. She hugged her knees, curled up, and desperately tried to suppress her almost crying voice. Akiaki Nikki. Mayuzumi-san was watching us from a distance. I'm going to take a little break. Mayuzumi-san, please cover for me. I left the scene, blending into the festival's hustle and bustle. Epilogue. Both a teacher and a lover. The hustle and bustle of the cultural festival felt distant here, and the quietness seeped into my body. I was sitting alone on an old, abandoned bench behind the pool building, lost in thought. Hidden from view by the building, the area was rarely traversed by people, allowing weeds to grow freely at my feet. Ryu, good work today. Kaguya-chan said she's heading home first. I want to talk to you too, but where are you now? I managed to reply, and after a while Tenjo-sensei appeared. Uenagi-kun, if you stay in a place like this for too long, you'll catch a cold. Despite being at school, Sensei called me by my first name. You came in your maid outfit. I wanted to see you as soon as possible. You're quite straightforward today. I try to be as honest as possible when I'm with you. Why did you come? We could have talked after returning to the apartment. Kyuhyun-san asked me to comfort you. She's considerate even when she's having a tough time herself. What if someone comes? No one's going to come here at this hour. That's why you came here too, right? It's a good spot for a private conversation. Tenjo-sensei sat down next to me. There's too much we can't say in front of others when it comes to you, Tenjo-san. I spoke to her with the same sense of distance we had in the apartment. Adults have a lot of things they want to say but can't. Like pretending to be drunk to act spoiled. Ah, you knew. I kind of figured. I'm so embarrassed I could burst into flames. Tenjo-san covered her cheeks with her hands. We always need some excuse, some accident or coincidence, to touch each other, don't we? Our communication was indirect, hinting at things, tracing the contours of what was really important. It was thrilling in its secrecy, but right now I wanted to be as honest as possible. I'll be blunt. Ultimately, love is always accompanied by lies, big or small. We hold back to make ourselves look better, or we stay silent about inconvenient truths. I think there's no such thing as a love that's completely free of lies, both good and bad, towards oneself or others. Yeah, but lies are so exhausting. I confess my true feelings, free of deceit. I would never take on the role of a boyfriend again. It was that stressful for me. I couldn't justify my own lies for my convenience. I agree. It's tiring to watch what you say to avoid getting caught, to suppress spontaneous reactions. And yet, the subtle attitudes and atmospheres that can't be completely hidden. Eventually, Akira found out. That was the price I paid for the lies I had told. It seems so. I'm sorry. People who love you notice because they pay close attention. I understand that feeling all too well. But I properly finished playing the boyfriend role at the cultural festival. With a sense of relief from finally shedding all burdens, I instinctively rested my head on Tenjo-san's shoulder. You did well, thank you. Tenjo-san stroked my head as it lay there. Were you worried I might fall for Akira? Yes, I was worried every day. I kept chanting to myself that I was fine, continuously lying to myself. And you, who doubts like that, believe in eternal love. I vented my frustrations, which I usually kept to myself. Today, I was too tired, and my brakes just wouldn't work. It's because I'm worried that I rushed here dressed like this, and because you're important, I find myself torn between prioritizing my own feelings and your future. She revealed her feelings, and a sad hue colored her face. I took in the cold autumn air to clear my head and heart. Before the day was completely over, I decided to summarize everything up to today. I confessed my feelings with no lies or deception. My future, no matter what, is with you. Living each day with you, that's the resolution I've made. It doesn't matter what society thinks or what's considered normal. From the moment I fell for Tenjo Ryu, my neighbor and teacher, comparisons became meaningless. You are the only one for me. I just want to be happy with you. So if it means not saddening you as a teacher, I'll follow the law and adhere to good decency to the death. Even sex, I want it, but I'm holding back. I pleaded earnestly, you're too good of a man. Too cool. That's my way of proving my love. Am I really okay for you? There's no one more attractive than you. I'm older, you know. The person I fell in love with just happened to be born earlier. I'll become a grandmother first. The age difference won't matter once we're adults. Would Tenjo-san still worry about such things, even when we grew old together, as a married couple? I thought even that side of her was endearing. The age of a woman is a delicate matter. Then, please look forward to it, because I will love you with all my might, so that you won't even have time to worry about it. As I contemplate the future, a mischievous smile naturally comes to my face. Please go easy on me. Tenjo-san places her hands together on her lap and bows politely. Uenagi-kun, I'm just an adult who's involved in your life for a brief moment as a teacher. It's contradictory for someone who's only temporarily in your life to desire eternity. I've come to realize that such reservations were suffocating my true feelings. Tenjo-san reflected on her past behavior in this way. Can I share something I've realized from this experience? Let's hear it. Love can't be satisfying with just seriousness, nor can it last with just fun, especially if you're fixated on eternal love. Yeah. Tenjo-san listens, seriously, even to the words of a younger man. Usually, we are conscious of our positions and age differences, but when it's just the two of us, we are equals. I believe that a buildup of rational seriousness leads to trust, but being too fixated on seriousness can be painful, and unfounded worries stemming from anxiety might even lead to mental distress. That hits too close to home. Tenjo-san makes a pained expression. However, the presence of the dark Ryu had already vanished. On the other hand, being too honest with your instincts can easily cause trouble. You might hurt someone important or damage their trust. I get it. Balancing reason and instinct is tough. I'm always wobbling. Tenjo-san empathizes with my earnest concerns. Even if we can't solve them right away, just having someone else know about them lightens the heart. But it's okay to waver like that. I respond with a relaxed tone. What happened? You suddenly sound like you've reached enlightenment. The essence of the excitement and love is exactly that very wavering. Then wouldn't it get boring once it stabilizes? Not at all. I think it's just right for a lasting relationship to have the leeway to enjoy the situation with openness, even if you share secrets that can't be told to others. Like this. I take the hand of the woman I love who is sitting next to me. No one is likely to come. It's okay to be a little bold. Tenjo-san intertwines her fingers with mine in surprise, but soon after. Also, the eternal love I envision is about pouring endless affection and drowning in it. I will continue to love you forever. I won't ever let you feel bored or lack excitement. My sea of love is boundless. I made a grand metaphor, if I do say so myself. To show an intangible love, such an analogy is necessary. I will continue to nurture a love as vast and deep as the ocean until I die. Such trivial matters as age or status pale in comparison to the vast ocean. So, there's something I'd like you to change. What is it? Tenjo-san hesitates, wondering whether to speak. Why not be honest now? Encouraged by me, she bites her lower lip before speaking up. You know, it's been over half a year since we found out we're neighbors. I've been calling you by your first name, but Uenagi-kun, you've always used my last name. I meant it as a form of respect for someone older. Is that strange? It's not strange. It's not strange at all, but you know. Tenjo-san falters in her words. Please tell me, I want to fulfill Tenjo-san's wishes. I wanted to know. Maybe it's okay for you to start calling me by my first name. Tenjo-san mumbles, and the end of her sentence trails off ambiguously. So you mean not Tenjo-san, but your first name. I carefully confirm. Why, you don't have to force yourself. We are neighbors equals, but it's not just that. Being addressed by my last name feels a bit lonely. If possible, I'd be happier with something more intimate. Yes, as a sign of trust and affection. She expresses her wish while flustered. I take a deep breath. Then I place my hands on her shoulders. Our eyes meet. The tension between us reaches its peak. Tenjo-san. Yes. Ryu-san. Yes. Ryu-san. Yes. Ryu-san, I love you. I love you too. Ryu-san finally clearly expresses her feelings of liking me with words. I'm so happy to hear those words. I feel like I could die of happiness. Choking up, I feel like I'm about to break down in tears. Being genuinely told, I love you, is more comforting to the heart than being deceived by a mere physical relationship. I am filled with an unprecedented sense of relief. Gaining confidence in our relationship, I know that I will come to like her even more tomorrow than I do today. Uenagi-kun, we still have time. Let's go on a date at the cultural festival. Ryu-san stood up and took my hand. Isn't it problematic for a teacher and a student to walk side by side on a date? Just borrow the class parka you're wearing. You're wearing a maid outfit skirt underneath, right? If you cover your face with the parka and wear a mask, you won't be recognized immediately. It's a good disguise. Is it really okay? Can such a dreamlike scenario really come true? Even though I've always longed for it, I become hesitant when it's right in front of me. I want to create memories with you too. Let's go. The days of being a bystander to my youth are over. I'm going to enjoy my adolescence in the present, together with the person I like. Okay, raise your arms so I can take off the top. I can take it off myself. Just do it. As told, I raised my arms. Ryu-san grabbed the hem of the parka and flipped it upwards. I closed my eyes the moment it came off my face. In that instant, I felt a soft and warm sensation on my lips. When I opened my eyes, the person I love most looked resolute, as if all hesitation had been swept away. Was that just now? Because it's special. Is that okay under the neighbor agreement? Still lacking a sense of reality, I blurted out something that could dampen the mood. Is it, the momentum from the cultural festival? Don't ask anything more. Then I can't help it. There really was something magical about the cultural festival. Yes, as an apology for making you feel anxious all this time. And I've reached my limit of patience too. It's not good to hold back your feelings, huh? That's why I want to make it clear. Ryu-san was beaming with a smile as bright as the sun. I will never forget this moment for as long as I live. I'm your teacher and your lover. My youth will never fade. There's no graduation from the eternal love with Sensei. End of Volume 3.